Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Season 4 Baddie Overwatch League Award Show. And first of all, I have to say, from all of the casters here, we have something to say. So, three, two, one.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
Valkyrie.
So, we just want to say a happy special day to Valkyrior, because you know what? He's worth it.
Damn straight he is.
But going along into it for the first half of the award show, I'm your host, UTech, and with me is Albino Joe and Cal, aka Hook Resets, with Zedekiss as our DJ for the night. And
Yeah, buddy.
I have to say, season 4 has been quite the season. We've had the most people in the league. We had what, 6 teams? Yeah, 6 teams. That's unheard of. We've been just growing and growing, and it's been nothing but barrels of fun.
Yeah, no, this has been a really, really good season. All sorts of people, all sorts of rookies in the mix, and a lot of new personality adding to the league and making it probably the best BOL season I've ever played in so far.
And of course, Papa Jeff coming in with all those changes throughout the season. We've had the death of the moth, the rebirth of the moth, the death of the moth again.
Still moth playing.
Still moth being
Still,
played.
you know.
Just trying to go in, dive, death ball, the quad tank meta kind of trying to seep in with Moira. It's been quite the journey.
Yeah, Overwatch as a game has just been evolving a lot too. They've been, like we talked about, the death and rebirth and death again of the moth. They're starting to kind of be reactive to all these changes that need to happen, and I don't know. I personally think Overwatch is in a pretty good place now that we're at the end of the season. But I don't know. What do you think, Cal?
uh, you know, I'm worried about a couple things. I'm worried about what Brigitte is gonna bring. Like, I don't know if
Ooh.
worried is the right way. I've always loved the dive comp as a Genji main, and Brigitte coming in is definitely a scary one. She's
Yeah.
as anti-dive as you can get. And
Agreed.
well, I'm guessing they're I feel like they need to do some nerfs, something like reducing the amount of healing, or like the time between her instant 75 HPs or whatever. But
Right.
oops.
That and her stun just being on a 4-second cooldown, just
Yeah,
insane.
it's pretty good.
Guys, unfortunately, Baguette or whatever her name is not in the BOL Season 4, but you know what is in the BOL Season 4? Our
What?
award-winning categories for each player in the league here. You want to talk about the first category right now?
Yes, I want to talk about the first category, and the first category we have is All-Star Flex. So, those people out there who could just play everything? I know I can't, but these guys can. And Cal, do you wanna say our runner-up for the All-Star Flex?
Yeah, for sure. The runner-up for this year's All-Star Flex is very own TPC Ball of Sexy. What a crazy man he's been. His Roadhog has definitely been the best in the league, and he did a lot of work on our team, switching between mainly Soldier and Soldier, Roadhog, and Junkrat. And he just is able to pull out a lot of clutch plays. He's really good at that. And whenever, like, in terms of a rock that TPC needed, he would do it. So well done to him.
Yeah, well done, Sexy. Like, you know what? I will say one thing. I was scared of you every time I played. I don't want to get hooked as a diva.
What do you do? What do you do? No counterplay.
But congratulations to Bala Sexy. And from that, let's go on to our number one pick of All-Star Flex. Joey, you want to give that a shout out? 'Cause I
Yeah,
know
sure.
you wanna say his name.
Well, a guy who's very good at the game, and tried to carry his team to multiple victories along with some other players on his team. Josh Danko took first for the All-Star Flex. I don't know what characters he didn't play. Actually,
Mainly supports, but
yeah, he tried to carry his team as best he could on multiple characters. He didn't. I think actually Dano had the record for most characters played overall for the whole entire season, but Danko was showing up and he was playing what he needed to play that he thought he needed to play in order to win, and yeah, good for him.
Yeah, Danko, and look at that. One of the people who just wanted to play Doomfist so much, and I think he was the only Doomfist player we had out of the entire league.
well, Sword and Ace pulled it out once at the very end, but not consistently.
All right, yeah. So Sword, you are the runner-up on that Doomfist, playing your heart out, getting L-fisting everyone you can.
Yeah.
But congratulations to our All-Star Flex players. Your awards will be coming in the mail in about 30-some quintillion business days. All right.
Indeed.
Moving on, we have one of my favorite categories, Bargain of the Season. Now, I don't know about you guys, but some people went for crazy cheap for the effectiveness of what they had.
Yeah. There was some people I think early on who went for more than they should have. So there's always the people no one expects to do as well. And they pull out big for their team.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And ironically enough, for runner-up, we had a tie between two of our players, and for the two people that got second place for bargain of the season, we had Batmel, who was bought for $2, and Spoopy Koopa, who was given a bargain price of 50 cents.
Yeah, both of those are great pickups. I mean, Batmel was kind of, I'd almost say a linchpin to TPC. Would you agree, Cal?
100%. Her shot calling was actually pretty on when she was feeling it. She was on point with shot calling. She was willing to play diva even though she's normally a hit scan player. So thank you, Mel. She definitely shined.
Yeah,
feel
for
like-
sure.
I feel like she's a drunken master. You seen that Jackie Chan film where it's not kind of like how Danko does it, where you get a drink in you and just helps you aim.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Every week.
Well-
what about Spoopy Koopa though?
Yeah, Spoopy had some solid diva bombs, especially earlier in the season, and he also, did all sorts of work for his team as well.
Yeah, and
But
his Zenyatta into the season,
Yeah.
I felt was pretty good too.
I was gonna say that too. Like he switched from tank to healing at the end, and it worked really well for the team. Not well enough. They're not in the finals,
Well,
but it did
to
it
beat
did
my
what they
team
wanted it
and
to.
beat the waifu superstar, it definitely did.
Yeah, for sure. But you know what? I'm just gonna jump in here because number one, I want to talk about Easy Clap, my boy Heron, $1 baby, woo!
Wait, he seriously just went for $1?
He went for $1 and he won bargain of the season. And honestly, with that many plays of the game, granted he was set up for all of them with me pocketing his ass, Wonder being in the back line causing all sorts of shit, and our two badass tanks all over the place. And along with Mighty Wolf doing his thing, he was also fragging out all the time. But somehow Heron always got the plays of the game and Heron always shined. Spec camera stays on him, man. I don't know what's up.
And also for that $1, we got all the toxicity that came out of him. And you have to say, he brings a good flavor to the league. He just brightens up your day no matter what he says. And you know what? I think I'm gonna miss him after this season. I'm gonna miss him.
Oh, he'll be in the next season.
You hear me, Heron? You better be in the next season. Because if you're not, I hope you have sons. Beautiful, beautiful sons. I hope they die.
Oh my God! Wait, what? What? What?
So something real quick I want to say about Heron. From what I've seen of Easy Clap, they actually work around him really well. You guys I feel like you listen to who he says he's gonna shoot, and if he hits a direct rocket, you just immediately jump on them and kill them. And that was what I felt like is a big part of Easy Clap's team comp. And for $1, what more can you ask from a DPS player?
Yeah. Pretty much.
All right. And with
Well,
that,
next category. Moving on. Bust of the season. Ooh.
I think I know who the runner-up of bust of the season is.
UTech,
And-
break the news. Break the news.
All right. It's one of our casters here. It's Hook Resets, who went for $7.
Oof.
And
What?
sorry,
What?
had to hear it here now. Hook Resets, coming in as a Genji main from last season, and had to play Mercy because you were on vacation for the first couple of weeks after the draft.
Yeah, but
pretty
before like
much.
the actual match.
And when you were playing Genji, though, there were days, man, where you were fucking popping off, and the spec camera was on you, and you were just fucking doing instant 180, dash reset, just going fucking nuts.
Microphone muted.
So I don't know who voted
It's-
for you, man, but
Uh,
you took runner up.
I 100% understand it because I felt like this season was really hard to choose the bust, and in reality, like, I would have voted for myself number one, because there were so many DPS players in this league that people didn't know about. It wasn't their fault that I didn't do as well as I could have, or as well as the other DPS, but just like $7 is too much when I can only kill supports and can't actually do all the other DPS. So.
Yeah, with Wonder, Freefee, Senpai, all these rookies that are world class. I'll call them world class.
World class of the SBO.
Yeah. Okay, fine. BOL class, whatever.
Yeah.
But still, it's understandable but sad. But another understandable but sad bust of the season is our first place. None other than the Danko.
Yeah, Dango coming in at $10.25, getting to the coveted double digits in his bid. And there comes a double-edged sword with that, and that comes down to, can you carry a team? Or is whoever's drafting your team draft around that much money that they spent on you?
Yeah.
And
I don't know. When you got a guy on your team, you have like three very good players in Danko, Dano, and Captain. And you have Dano playing what, 20 characters or 20? I don't even know how many characters he played this season, but he played all of them pretty much. And
Yeah.
Danko can't deliver either. I don't know. That's rough.
The story of not being able to find their own team's identity.
yeah,
Josh
they're like
himself as well.
That's what they were. They're like a 13-year-old or like a 12-year-old trying to find their identity in this great big world of ours, and covered in acne and stuff. Come on, Danko. We believed.
definitely with dive comp being so prevalent. If you're not able to run it, you're not going to be running.
I believed. I drank the Kool-Aid. I was like rooting for their team like half the season, straight up.
And you know what? I think I wanted Jeff from the Overwatch team to win, just because of their name.
Yeah.
Just because of that.
It's definitely
Sad
my
man.
favorite name, actually, too.
Oh God.
Well, let's keep going because we don't want to have this be too much of a pity party.
Uh.
So let's go over to All-Star DPS, where we actually have another tie coming in on the runner-ups. And for the runner-ups, we have Easy Clap's own No Wonder and Blabby's Dab's Senpai.
Yeah, BB, Wonder showing up, Senpai, also a big freaking pain in my rear as a support. He's probably
Oh
going to
my
be a
God.
pain in my rear again tonight as a support.
Don't like it, man. I don't like it. But let's talk about No Wonder a little bit before we go over to Senpai. First of all, hands down, the best Tracer player in the entire league. Try to knock some facts into that. that you can't debunk it.
Yeah.
True.
Especially how much he played Tracer. His only other character was like Widowmaker and a little bit of Soldier. But he's definitely, of all the DPS players, he was the most impactful in terms of pressure. Like just pressuring by himself, I felt was huge. I don't think any other team can say their DPS player did that. Without like he didn't even get that many plays or huge pulses that were like 3 or 4 men. He usually just got one, or he did damage to the tank, and then everyone would collapse on them. And but he just like put out so much pressure as a player. It was insane. I feel like Senpai was almost the opposite, where he did the best in putting, or like in taking advantage of the pressure that his tanks gave him. As a McCree player, at least you can't obviously pressure people as McCree like you can Tracer, but definitely they're both great players for sure.
Oh yeah, and definitely giving Senpai. Do not give Senpai the high ground. Just don't. But that brings us on to the high ground of number 1 All-Star DPS of the Batty Overwatch League Season 4. And it's going all the way over to Ninja Plez from Mercy Nerf Me Daddy.
AKA Ninja Apples, AKA Daddy. This guy fucking he shined a lot on his team with his DPS, with the Sphere Rockets, his Widow. Some games, specifically games we played against him, he was the body shot master. But honestly, I don't know. He was a big factor to that team's damage output. And with saying that with 30 on the team, that's I don't know.
Yeah, that is a big upset if you think to me, or if you talk to me, because in my mind it's always been 30 has always been the biggest DPS. I still think got to give a shout out to him because he does a lot, but the votes count for themselves, and Ninja Plez has been having a lot of impact on his own, and I think rightfully this award goes to him.
Yeah, buddy.
He definitely showed up huge, mainly in his own solo plays. I think that he was the only player who could either win you or lose you the map, depending on his positioning. But he always set himself up to be in the right position. And MNMD, if he was on the Pharah, consistently having the Mercy pocket, definitely were able to set him up pretty well for that too.
Definitely was able to help them get that 3rd place spot in the finals. And you know what? Help them go from being the 4th place team from the regular season to push even further than that.
Okay.
All right, so let's go on to the most plays of the game, and let's speed it up a little bit because we want to make sure our second half of the award show gets their due diligence. So, most plays of the game.
Yep. So the runner-up, the all-star DPS that we did just talk about, Ninja Plez playing all sorts of characters that you know, he plays Reaper, Pharah, Genji. He probably has. Does he have the most on Reaper? I don't know what the stat is on that.
Most plays,
Up to
probably.
debate.
Either him or Thrifty Senpai.
Death Blossom is too strong, man.
No longer is the Beyblade era, but you know what? Still, Ninja Plez 9, which is actually very, very close to our first place, which was actually Heron. His
Yeah.
10, he had Pharah and Bastion, but primarily he had Pharah plays of the game.
Whole lot of them.
Yeah, pretty
A whole
much.
lot.
Your screen blacks out before anyone knows what happens, and the spec camera stays on him because he's the main attraction. He is fucking always stealing plays of the game. And I say
Like-
stealing because we also had an all-star DPS on the team that probably should have gotten some of those. I don't know, Heron, I love you, but I don't know. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Good job.
All right. So now let's go on to the next one where we have Rookie of the Season. And Unbeknownst to us, guess what? There is another tie, and this tie is for first place. So we have two of them. One is we have Ninja Plez from Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, and the other rookie of the season we have No Wonder from Easy Clap.
Yeah, both of them very cool people, very chill to play with, open to practicing. I'm sure. I don't know about Ninja Plus. I don't know what his team aspect was with practicing, but awesome people to play with and very good players in general. Rookies that kind of broke out and were definitely noticed throughout the season.
Oh hell yeah! If these people don't go for more than at least $6 or $7 season 5, I don't know what to think. I really don't, because you're wasting your money, or you're not using your money wisely enough. That's
Cal, you
the
got
one.
anything on this?
You know, already said mainly about them, but they're just both great players. They deserve it, and I hope they go for more than me next season. That's all I hope.
Last three slides have been pretty much all about those two players, but let's go to another slide that has nothing to do with DPS, the All-Star Tank. Cal, you want to introduce the runner-up?
Yeah. Sure. Coming from Blabby's Dabs, that would be Destructive Dude. He played mainly Winston and I believe some Roadhog playing it, and he just, I don't know, create a lot of space for that DPS player in Senpai that we talked about earlier, and a really loud voice on his team that guys seem to do what they needed to into the finals. So
Yeah, and I mean with a good, a good tank like that, it's kind of weird because I feel like good tanks and good supports are really hard to notice. And Destructive Dude, having watched Blabby's games, he, like you said, he does create that space with Winston, and he gets in the enemy's face when he needs to, and he does what he needs to do as a tank.
and I'm sure you'd like to introduce this next one, Joe.
Yeah, buddy. None other than my boy UTech, first place from Easy Clap. Woo! Yeah, dude.
I have one thing to say. Easy Clap.
Oh god.
Oh,
Yeah. UTech getting in the face of people, doing everything he can to, we pretty much only play the dive and kind of doing what Destructive Dude does. But I think I don't know who does it better, but we're gonna find out tonight.
UTech was, I think, one of the biggest reasons why your team was allowed to run the exact same comp every single map ever. The whole time. That Diva play is crazy, you're super aggressive, but you also are able to help people when they need to, so.
Yeah,
Good balance.
my game sense is so off, I don't really even know the difference between Diva and Winston when it comes to actually playing those tanks. I just know you get in the enemy's face and you try to shoot him. So.
The 600 HP Doomfist is the only difference, I'd say.
Oh god.
In Diva. It's quite scary.
Jesus.
That's true.
Well, anyway, I think that concludes our half of the award show. Any closing remarks?
So moving on to a more wholesome category, we've got Most Improved Player coming up here. And so this is an award relative to where players were at last season. So it's for anyone that we think has improved a lot since the BOL Season 3. And coming in for the runner-up, we've got Thor from Blabby's Dabs, who I will admit I was very pleasantly surprised by this season. Watching him last season on the team with, I believe it was Chromatic and Josh Dankla's team, he was what we've called Thor in the past, trailer dick garbage, a total liability, did nothing to really help his team win any games. And I expected more of the same out of him this season, and he's really proved me wrong. He's held up what he's needed to do for Blabby's Dabs, and he's not a liability for this team that's playing in the finals tonight.
Yeah, I really couldn't agree more. He surprised me completely. Like a totally different person between the two seasons, but leads it on to the #1 most improved player of Batty League Season 4, Dano from Jeff from the Overwatch team. I feel like this guy just constantly gets better. I mean, he could make an argument that he's the most improved player across a lot of these seasons, and probably helps to play almost the entire Overwatch hero roster as well. Incredibly intelligent player as well. You can see he's constantly thinking about the game and trying to get better.
Yeah, he's definitely shafted by constantly ending up on these bad teams where he's got to literally this season cover everything for his team. I'm hoping next season we finally get to see him settle in and just play one role for a whole season so that everyone can see how hard he practices and how well he's able to play, because I think Dano's a monster.
Yeah, absolutely. Next category, All-Star Support. So once again, another tie. Very close awards this season. Coming in tied for number 2 is Huckleton from Blabby Stabs and T-Mick from the Tide Pod Challengers. Both of these guys being, I guess kind of the main, maybe shot callers. I know Huckleton has done that as well. Maybe T-Mick as well from Tide Pod. But really heads-up support play from both of them, and they can really do it all.
Yeah, very versatile, which to me is a big factor in how I rate support players. I trust these guys to play almost every healer in the game and to play them pretty equally well. And we've seen both these guys come up clutch a lot of weeks for their teams. But number 1 all-star support gonna be Albino Joe the Mercy Main over on Easy Clap. And if we had advanced stat tracking, I would love to see like a support stat for proximity to the enemy team's front line, because Albino Joe plays so much further forward than most support players do. And this is something that you see Bad Mercies try to do a lot, and they just die over and over. And if Albino Joe was a Bad Mercy, Easy Clap would lose a lot of fights, because everyone in Overwatch just tries to kill the Mercy. The first thing you do when you get into a team fight, you scream, kill the Mercy, kill the Mercy. And Albino Joe is kind of just dangling himself there as bait, but he knows how to really effectively use Guardian Angel to shift in and out of fights, and he just doesn't get caught very often, and it really helps enable Easy Clap's super aggressive playstyle. And I think they would be a drastically worse team if they had a worse healer.
Yeah, couldn't agree. If supports, that backline is really what makes the team go. Healers heal the tanks, and the tanks make the space for the DPS. All starts at the support role. Next category, best team name. As far as the Batty Overwatch League seasons go, I thought this was a pretty good season for names. There were some pretty hilarious ones. And the one that I voted for, at least the funniest, but it is actually tied for second here with another staple, another classic. Tied at number 2 is Jeff from the Overwatch team and Waifu Superstar 2, Senpai's Literature Club. How many times can you pull off a sequel team name and be better than the first one?
It was hard, but that's just the power of friendship for you. Sometimes you just know you get that group of guys together and you're like, yeah, let's go raise our waifus, and everyone buys in. Meanwhile, we got Jeff from the Overwatch team. It's nice to be playing a video game where I love the lead designer again, because it's been a while. But Jeff from the Overwatch team is a pretty lovable man, and well, I mean, at least Jeff from the Overwatch team, the team in the Overwatch game league, the Batty Overwatch League, had that going for him. But number 1 is going to be maybe a more culturally relevant meme, the Tide Pod Challengers. And I mean, what can you say? They kind of had everything. It was witty enough. It was currently relevant. It was something that was natural to say on the broadcast, which is a big point for me. Some team names are, not this season, but over all the years of doing commentary, some team names just suck to try to work into a broadcast. And Tide Pod Challengers, they gave me a nice TPC to work with, but I could call them the Tide Pods. I could call them the Challengers. Then you add the meme game on top of that. It was a well designed team name.
Yeah, it is kind of like the perfect storm, like you said, is because the relevancy of the meme was so high at the time. It just rolls right off the tongue. Everyone gets it. Great acronym too, TPC. Very easy to say. Gotta love that.
It felt very esports.
It did, yeah. These guys, they
were
whoever
looking out
came with
for-
that needs to be a marketing guy for esports. A meme specialist.
I know Overwatch teams hire those.
Yeah, Philly, that they actually put out an ad for a meme specialist, and they hired one. Well,
But on to the next category, something maybe one of our most hyped categories, and a category that is by far the most competitive it's ever been. We've got MVP, the most valuable player, which a lot of seasons was a 1 or 2 man race, but I think there were a lot of people in the running this season who didn't even make the final cut. It was an incredibly competitive season. Our top end of players was the deepest it's ever been. And it's been really fun to watch these guys battle it out every week. But in third, we've got a tie between two very strong DPS players. We've got No Wonder and Senpai tying for another category here.
Yeah, very intriguing that they both show up and tie for the third spot here, because I think they kind of do the same thing for both their teams. They're these two all-star DPSs and creating a ton of space, really instill a lot of fear into the enemy team. No Wonder's Tracer constantly in your backlines. Where Senpai is kind of the opposite. He's on the other side of the fence, but you got to go for cover, man. He's gonna hit those criticals. He's gonna hit the headshots. Also, hit scan and projectile for him as well. I mean, both of these players played fantastically well. But oh, go for it. Go.
I was just gonna say, you just can't argue with that. Two of the best players in the league. These guys are both in and around masters in Comp Q, and I mean, every week you just see them so many fights, making the big plays, single-handedly winning fights for their teams.
Yeah, and that leads it into the second most valuable player for the season, gonna be UTech for Easy Clap. So a deviation from the DPSs that we see here in this list. He's that main tank, well, I guess off tank this season. I mean, he can really do it all. He just understands the game at a very high level. And I mean, granted, these regular season awards, they were awards for the regular season, right? But if anyone has been watching, the playoffs, or I guess at the very end of the season, the regular season is when he was out, night and day. Like, this guy brings so much to the table. It's intangibles as well. Well deserved.
Yeah, I think there could be a bit of recency bias here, but the best thing that UTech did for his award ballot was miss week 10 right before we all voted, because Easy Clap looked awful. They looked like they didn't even belong playing in the playoffs that week. They were just so bad playing without UTech. The UTech comes back into the playoffs, and it's the exact same team we remember. They destroyed Mercy Nerf Me Daddy last week, and probably feel like they have all the momentum going into the championship tonight. But that is going to lead us into the Baddie Overwatch League Season 4 Most Valuable Player. Sir, do you want to take this one?
Yeah! Woo! My boy Ninja Plez, aka Daddy, aka Red Foreman. This guy, I mean, when he first came into the league, he has a very strong personality, to say the least. But over the course of the season, I've grown to love him as a player and as a teammate, and he's insane. This guy, not only does he do it all, like, he basically just pull out any character at any moment and just totally own on it. He plays the game at a very high tactical level. He's constantly excited, constantly high energy, and always shot calling. Without him, Mercy Nerf Me Daddy wouldn't be anywhere close to the team that they were this season.
Yeah, he was so insane. And to me, one of the biggest factors with really good Overwatch players, DPS players especially, is how much can they accomplish without their ultimate. And Ninja Plez is one of the guys who, on any given map, if he were to get a play of the game without using his ultimate, it wouldn't surprise me. It's just, he will randomly find, 3Ks, 4Ks on Pharah, just shooting rockets into the team. There were some of our matchups, the amount of pressure I was under personally playing against him was just absurd. And he's a DPS player who I think he could probably play every single DPS character in the game at a top level, and not a single one of them would surprise me.
Yep. And to top it all off, he's completely new. This is his first season. He's a rookie to any kind of baddie league, and yeah, he really is a treasure to this league. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't want to confirm or deny anything, but maybe we won't see him next season, which is very sad. He definitely deserves MVP this season. I expect a lot more out of him next season.
Yeah, hopefully he's able to make it back, because he is a beast. So, congratulations on your MVP, Daddy. But now we're going to close things out here with some baddie Overwatch League staples. We've got the worst play of the season is a two-way tie. Two plays that are very close to my heart, and I'm happy to see them both winning here. We've got Thrifty Senpai's Bastion Adventure and Senpai Sniped by Lucio. And I'd like to take a moment to talk about Thrifty Senpai's Bastion Adventure. Guys, I've had a lot of questions about this. You may remember it was a Week 6 matchup on Hanamura, round 3. Waifu Superstar on the defense needs to hold for about a minute before they will have a chance to push on the Tide Pod challenges with about a minute 30. Very, very close match. Thrifty Senpai on the Bastion because we were planning to try to cheese out the 4 tank because we knew Tide Pod was going to run it, which they did, and we thought the Bastion would be very effective into it, which it was. And then Zedekis makes the call. Thrifty, switch places. All Thrifty Senpai hears is the word switch. And he goes, yeah, I agree, I should switch here. 0.1 Hanamura defense. Runs right out that gate into BOL S4's patiently waiting Roadhog. Takes the death so that he can swap characters. Tide Pod swarm back onto the point 6v5 and win the map.
Oh, wow.
Accounting for context, I legitimately think it is the worst play I've ever had a teammate make in Overwatch. At least in competitive Overwatch. It was absolutely awful, and I look forward to showing you guys the replay in a moment here.
Yeah, that actually explains so much because surprisingly, these are the two plays that I voted for worst plays, and I just kept watching the Thrifty one over and over and over. I actually haven't seen a hard hit like that ever in Overwatch. It was completely baffling. But what's also completely baffling, but actually more humorous than anything, was Senpai getting sniped by a Lucio. And I remember this fondly because I was Mercy Nerf Me Daddy versus the Dapsters here. They were assaulting second point Anubis, and Senpai on the Widowmaker up top. We have Daddy on the ledge there is Reaper, kind of just wasting his time, maybe throwing out a couple emotes saying hello. Our boy Spoopy Koopa, I believe, on the, or was it Ryzak on the Lucio? I forget.
We'll find out in a sec.
Yeah, we'll find out in a second. Easy double or triple boink into the head, dead.
Yeah, it was very funny from the spectator perspective because you're like, oh no, the Widowmaker has Infrasight. He's just gonna wait for the Reaper to step out, and then suddenly the Lucio shots just coming from the side. We've got the camera angle on that was perfect.
Yeah, it was so cinematic.
It was like truly the Baddie League at its finest, that I loved it. But that will cut us into the best play of the season, and our runner-up for that one is going to be Josh Danko on a D.Va alt. I believe I linked this one in the Discord. I don't believe. I know. I remember. I linked this one in the Discord. I was in the middle of like doing some other commentary, and all of a sudden I realized this D.Va alt was going in. And as a caster, you don't really think too much when you hear the D.Va ultimate voice line because it almost never actually does anything. D.Va alt is a false flag. Ignore it until you see it in the kill feed. Almost always. And suddenly in a position where I don't think Josh Danko had any business finding kills on the Eichenwald second point, he finds a 5k. And I, in the middle of my commentary line, I just nutted.
Yeah, and I remember this fondly.
User disconnected
because
from
we
your
were on the
channel.
receiving end of that. And it's not very often where a single player on the enemy team makes a play where it silences your entire team. Like, we were talking a lot about how we have to stay on this point and defend it. The second you see that kill feed, everyone shut up. Just complete silence. I was impressed. I wasn't even mad. I'm still not mad to this day. Amazing.
However, as far as spectacular alts right at the end of the second point of Eichenwald go, this is going to fall behind Valkyrior, who, not even just in the context of the Baddie Overwatch League, but in the context of all Overwatch I have ever seen, had one of the best Winston alts you will ever see. Manages to knock not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 people off of the bridge as Winston. Happy birthday, Valkyrie! How did he do it?
Yeah, it's I mean, you just watch. We'll see the play unfold, but he just goes. He just sees the target and he boops him off, knocks him off. Incredible value out of an ult that really shouldn't be getting that many kills, but he did it.
Yeah, so props to him. It was incredible. And we're gonna watch that in a second here. So guys, we're gonna roll the winners montage and losers montage, I guess, of the 2 worst plays and the 2 best plays of the season. And then hopefully momentarily we will be back to bring you the finals. So stay tuned.
Sound muted.
He probably got played in the game. No, he didn't.
No,
Valk
Valk's huge. Valk.
knocked off the world. He literally went like, I'm a pissed off monkey. I'm gonna swing and get 1 person off the edge, 2 people off the edge.
This is
3,
huge.
4,
That's
5.
actually 5. That was actually 5.
The game here, of course, it's going to be Josh Danko. Start up. No, 30 gets on half of meters to play. But no, he steps off of this play. Oh!
Okay, then drop it low for you. All the way to the flow for you. That's right, put on a show for you. Then maybe you could roll with you. Top to bottom, you know it, clone is your elder. Cause you haven't heard anybody else do it better. Mister, take your waifu, upgrade her life. Guess we should be screaming all night too. Got them saltier than french fries. I'm the Big Mac, and they always like it supersized. Shorty, I can treat you. Homie, I can teach you. No matter what we do, be sure to call me.
Yeah, he should know that they know where he is, though.
They're face to face. Ninja Plays, be careful. He's waiting for you.
Ooh.
Oh, the Lucio takes out the Widowmaker. Oh, no.
Shame.
Microphone activated. Sound resumed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Team Swain Baddie Overwatch League. I'm AJS0. I'm joined here by 30. And everyone, I've got good news and I've got bad news.
Swift, what's the bad news?
We've only got one night left of the Baddie Overwatch League Season 4, and I'm super disappointed because I'm going to have to find something to do with my Wednesdays, and this league has been a ton of fun.
Oh, yeah, that is what a heartfelt bad news. That I agree. This has been a ton of fun. I think this is honestly the best season of the Baddie Overwatch League we've ever had. Most fun I've ever had. Sad to see it end, but I am excited. Is that what the good news is?
That is what the good news is. You know me too well. Is we've got what should be a fantastic championship matchup. This is really since week 1 of the season. These are the two teams. Well, maybe since week 2 of the season when Blabby Stabs or when Easy Clap got their first win. These are the two teams that all season long were meant to eventually meet in the finals, and they have both lived up to that destiny. Both of these teams going 8-2 in the regular season, having some very dominant stretches, their top level of play being very high. And now we finally get it. One best of 5 for all the marbles. We've even got, some extra hype because the week 10 matchup, both of these teams playing with substitute players. So I'm thinking Easy Clap might try to write that loss off as, not the real Easy Clap. Whereas Blabby's dads are going to say, like, yeah, you were missing the guy, but so were we, and we still stopped you. We can do it again.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, will the real Easy Clap please stand up, because they gotta bring it tonight. And in a lot of these seasons in the baddie leagues, we do these gauntlet style playoffs, right, where the first seed usually gets a lot of time off until the very end, and that's Blabby Stabs this season. Very curious on how they're gonna come out here out of the gate. Are they gonna be a little sloppy? Are they gonna try to warm up as the series goes on? Easy Clap, they're just coming off last week off of a pretty dominant win. I mean, we made it competitive, but 3-0-1 scoreline. They're ready to take it on the Dapsters fan.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things that we've seen, especially many years ago in the really early stages of our baddie leagues. Teams with the 1 seed would come in and really shit the bed in the finals because if you had 2 or 3 weeks off, some of these teams just wouldn't even practice. And they would go in so just not prepared for the finals compared to a team that's maybe run a gauntlet, especially if it's a team that's had to run through multiple rounds in the playoffs. However, I do not think that's going to be the case tonight. From hearing some things behind the scenes, I think Blabby's Dabs are taking this match very, very seriously, which it helps that they have a lot of rookies involved where this is very serious to them. They want to win. They have been practicing through their entire, series of bye weeks, and they expect to win tonight.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Two really hungry and thirsty teams going at it here in Overwatch. We're just concluding the map ban here for to decide, what the first map of the series is going to be. It's gotten down to Volskaya, Watchpoint, and Junkertown. Interesting to say the least that we see a 2CP up until the very end here.
Yeah, I like that strategy out of Blabby's Dabs. I think too many teams are too scared to play 2CP. A quarter of your games in Overwatch are on 2CP. Sometimes you've got to be willing to actually play that when it counts. And Blabby's Dabs doing something out of the norm for the Baddie League here. They dropped their first 4 bans on King of the Hill, which has maybe been one of their weaker game modes. It's I don't blame them for banning King of the Hill, actually. I think King of the Hill in pre-made is a bit overrated. I think everyone just does a bad job of actually assessing how good they are at King of the Hill. And King of the Hill, I think, is the game mode where you can make the fewest mistakes that will cost you a map.
Yeah, I think it's a fair assessment. It is a weird map type. And to go off of that point, I think a lot of people like it, but then they're maybe not as good as they think they are when it comes to it. And that's kind of the opposite of 2CP, right? People hate 2CP, but these teams are probably better on 2CP than they'd like to give them credit for. Personally, I know we did the research on Easy Clap, and I don't have the numbers pulled up right now, but they had a pretty all right win rate on 2CP. They just
Yeah.
maybe they don't have confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and also these two teams, they had such good win rates that they have pretty good win rates across the board, so they might be able to. I don't think either of these teams are locked into needing to avoid game types, whereas every other round of the playoffs, I felt there were just wrong game types to pick. But regardless of any of that, we are just going straight over to a payload map here, as it's going to be Watch Point Gibraltar to start this series off. And I like that. No draws to start this series.
Yeah, we'll really see who draws first blood here on a map that I think is it's pretty contested among the community. It seems like some people love it, some people hate it. It's one of those maps, and it's a lot of different types of playstyle as the map goes on. Right? You can even pull out sort of like a pirate ship. You know, you can pull out Bastion to start out the gate here on Gibraltar, but then it goes into that super tough hangar phase where mobility and verticality is key on top of that spaceship, and then rounding out that last point, which a lot of teams sometimes really struggle to do because the spawns are just so damn close. Interested to see if we're going to see Widowmaker come out here.
Yeah, we have seen some Widowmaker here out of these teams. No Wonder specifically played that a few times, so it's very good on this map. Also, wondering if we're going to see, which we haven't talked about yet, Reaper May.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, you're right.
Substantially buffed.
The balance changes. Oh, man.
And those are two picks that I don't think we've seen out of either of these teams at all, really. Maybe we've seen Freefy or Senpai run them periodically. I think we've seen Senpai run the May a few times, actually. I don't know if we've seen much Reaper out of these two, although they have been very versatile DPS players, so it wouldn't totally shock me to see it. But Heron, No Wonder picking up a new DPS, that would totally surprise me. And May and Reaper, those buffs, that makes them very good against dive. We know that Easy Clap likes to run the dive, so Blabby's Dabs is the team I'm more going to be looking for to bust this out, as we may not have a time to figure that out, as Blabby's Dabs are setting up a very deep defense here, or maybe they're just showing off that they have Diva Ryan Moira out that window. But
yeah. Some teams on defense, they've chosen to hold this building right next to the payload. There's a couple cheeky strategies you can do there, but they're just gonna do that standard top of the top hold here. And the Easy Clap, they come out of the gate, they fly up to the top. UTech already starting to contest.
Yeah, we've got Heron has swapped over to the Genji. Who Senpai finds the first snipe. Albino Joe down. Now Shooter Die down as well. The tanks pushing forward. UTech gonna get demeched. And I think we're going to see Blabby's Dabs drop onto this cart as they win this first fight pretty dramatically.
Yeah, that pick onto Albino Joe is not the way to start it off, and they might have been able to recover because the spawn is just right there, but they lose UTech out of that DMEC extremely fast. No wonder getting picked there kind of late, so slow start here for the Clappers, but, you know, it's the first map of the night.
My spirit grows strong.
Yeah, we've actually seen some pretty dramatic holds right here at this first bend on Gibraltar this season, as Freefy gonna find a Mighty Wolf nice and early again. The dive coming in from Easy Clap as they did get that res onto the Zenyatta, but the Reinhardt from Blabby's Dabs charging way into the backline. Thor disrupting what he can while Freefy and Senpai are still raining down some damage. They've only found one pick, but now the damage starting to come through. Easy Clap health bars low across the board, but Thor has finally gone down. The deep Reinhardt has done his job though.
Nerf this.
Yeah, UTech bomb goes up, but comes right down, not able to take out anyone down there near the bottom. And Senpai, he's still up here on this Widow, uncontested, getting a ton of free shots off. Heron on the Genji, have we seen that this season?
A little bit in the playoffs. It hasn't been super effective, but he's swapped to it when he really hasn't felt comfortable against the Pharah, which I assume is maybe a reaction to the Widowmaker of Senpai. No Wonder also gonna opt into the Widowmaker duels after his last death. Ooh, Freefy gets the pick out of Heron again.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's a good pick to Genji into the composition that Blabby's Dabs is running, but he has that Dragon Blade, so maybe this is it. This is the fight that they really need. Albino Joe's gonna have that Valkyrie as well.
This has to be it, because there is no answer to the Dragon Blade. Ooh, once again, a DPS stagger coming out. Senpai finds No Wonder, gonna force the res out of Albino Joe, and the dive is being set up here from Easy Clap.
Yep, they're trying to get a hold of this top bridge area, but No Wonder goes up and he goes right back down. he gets his head removed there. Junk Tire is actually gonna take out Shoot or Die, and it's just all blue in the kill feed.
Yeah, this is turning into a disaster on Wash Point. Gibraltar for Easy Clap is there. Probably going to get some staggers here. No wonder is already back over to that Tracer. Heron did not use that Dragon Blade as he's still kind of poking around on the side. And I don't necessarily blame him for not using the Dragon Blade. There was never a good opportunity because his team lost that fight so early. Is now Destructive though. He's going to get staggered here on the ground. This could be the opening Easy Clap is looking for. Is they're going to try to take out the baby D.Va. The heals have come down. Uncle 2 keeping him topped off. They have not taken out anyone just yet. And now up on the high ground, we've got Heron popping the Dragon Blade. He's found the Widowmaker. Can he find more? The Red's going to come up onto Senpai. And no, that was not a good Dragon Blade, even though there was nothing to answer it. Albino Joe and Uncle 2 both now bouncing up in the sky. But Freaky is found to Mighty Wolf. Shooter Die going down. And Blabby Stabs, they're looking to clean this fight up. The dive getting very disjointed out of Easy Clap now, as they've got 2 up here on the high ground, but they just do not have the damage to actually threaten these dabs.
Yeah, it's incredible how close and tight-knit Blabby Stabs is playing up here. They're playing off of each other extremely well. Huckleton even getting off a super risky res right in the middle of the whole fight onto Senpai, and he gets right back up.
Only 20 seconds remaining, and Senpai has the Infrasight active. This is going to be such a difficult engage. Out of Easy Clap.
He's gonna waste so much time.
He can win it, and he kills Shooter Die. This will not be a 6v6. Oh, Heron does find a pick on the Freaky. That is huge. They now have an opportunity for a 6v5 because Shooter Die has been resurrected by Albino Joe. Heron is up here on the flank. As a D.Va Bomb from Destructive will find Shooter Die. This is a 5v5, and now Thor dropping down, gets a big hammer. The Tracer Bomb out of no wonder does not find anyone. He gets a Mighty Wolf popping that Zenyatta ult Transcendence to try to keep this map alive for his team. They have man advantage for the first time tonight, but can they close this fight out? They're 3% of the damage on the card. And now Heron, once again, looking for a Dragon Blade. He is diving forward. He gets the kill onto Huckleton. But once again, only finds one. Blabby Stabs now finally falling back here as Freaky has swapped over that Tracer and he's going to die. Maybe didn't need a contest there.
Oh. So Easy Clap, they're able to take off this part of the map. I mean, they force Blabby Stabs to come down into Car Wash with them, and they win the fight very slowly though. But this is not over yet. There's Destructive Dude. He's on the cart as D.Va. He's able to delay this. Huckleton pops the Valkyrie.
And oh, Thor gets pulse bombed as he's trying to drop the hammer, dies and loses the ult. Now Utek's bomb gonna kill Huckleton. There was no one on the cart. Point 1 captured by Easy Clap, and they're gonna get staggered here.
Yeah, Blabby said they had such a good hold on that defense, a defensive point up there, but once they get forced off, things are starting to fall apart here. Senpai now switching over to that McCree, and Freefy over to the Soldier here, so they're gonna run a double hit scan against this Easy Clap standard dive.
Yeah, maybe they're predicting the Pharah swap out of Heron. His Genji's not been great so far, and this is a pretty normal Pharah points. But currently, no Pharah selected, as although Freefy doesn't need to find the Pharah, he finds Albino Joe instead. Now we've got a fight by Ixchino, make that a big fight win, as both healers go down early. No wonder as well for Easy Clap. No healers, no DPS, just the tanks left to be staggered here, as Thor's gonna push this one forward. Utek going up high to get staggered himself.
Yeah, so, I mean, that could have been real brutal. They could have staggered him a little bit harder after he used his boosters to get up there. But, yeah, it's going to be a reset here for Easy Clap. Blabby Stab's able to hold on now. And Senpai and Freefy now have control of this high ground with the ship and bridge, respectively.
Yeah, and they're kind of just challenging the dive from Easy Clap to come retake this ship. And there's not a whole lot of time to do it. Only a minute 10 remaining here as now both of the tanks are going up. They've got the Mercy with them. Can they put out the damage? Hellfires are going low. Meanwhile, on the ground, Tracer is putting out some damage as well, but no one has quite died yet. Huckleton with some big heals up on top of the ship as the flight now making its way back to the ground. Utek drops a D.Va ult way in the back line. Finds Huckleton in no man's land. 4 down as well. Senpai wants the hiding to find him. It's gonna get reflected back into his own face by Heron. The Transcendence onto Mighty Wolf gonna make sure there are no mistakes here from Easy Clap. And this is gonna be another fight win. A little faster than they took point 1.
That's a big old whoops there. Albino Joe, he's flying around. I mean, it's fun to fly around, right? But I mean, Easy Clap, they do take the second point on Gibraltar here on their attack, but they used a bunch of ultimates there to get it done. So we can imagine the ult economy is going to move steadily back in favor of Blabby Stabs here. as they try to hold this slight incline high ground here.
Yeah, now Thor looking like a proactive hammer down, puts out some good damage. Now Freaky from the deep, gonna try to put out a tactical visor. They found both of the DPS, they found Wolf as well. This is looking like it's gonna be a big fight for Blabby Stabs, stopping this card again.
Oh, Easy Clap, they have this incredible duo frontline, right? Shoot or Die and UTech. They are always diving together, super coordinated, but right there they push that high ground, leaving their entire backline open for the fat slam and the follow-up visor for Blabby Stabs.
Yeah, they didn't have to commit too much. I mean, I guess they committed 3 ults there, but they're still sitting on 2. Not the biggest ults, of course, but Easy Clap needs to get into this fight before they're going to start charging up more of their ults as well, although they are close on a lot. And here we go, the tanks are going high.
Oh!
Cockatoo, and they find him.
Yeah, questionable positioning by the Soldier and Mercy there, leaving themselves high and dry for the Easy Clap frontline to try to take him out. But it's Thor and Freefy that doing some work in the back lines. The bomb's throwing out, and does take out Sword and Mace.
That was bad. He should have been able to avoid that. Now Thor going down as well. This is looking good for Easy Clap. Hakuto gets the res onto Senpai, but he might have wanted to stagger there and go for a legitimate reset. But Destructive, he is standing on the cut right now. Albino Joe popping his Valkyrie. Easy Clap wants to close out here. His Freebie coming out of spawn. Stormbase coming out of spawn. They're both holding right now. But UTech on the Shooter Die on the Monkey is trying to disrupt here. But this is actually looking like a solid retake from Easy Clap. Now Heron with the Dragon Blade. Can he find his first good one of the night? Gets a kill onto Freebie. But Heron is just a swinging and a missing everywhere. Only finds one, but Hulk 2 does go down. But now Thor with a big hammer on the cart. This could be what Blabby's dad needed to stop this push. They have man advantage. They are taking out the Easy Claps on this cart. But no, Easy Claps is actually making it back from spawn themselves here. This is so close.
Yeah, I thought it thought it was gonna be over just a second ago, but it's not. Destructive dude, he's Baby Diva, he goes down. Easy Clap, they have their front line on the point, they are pushing, but it's full stall tactics here for Blabby Stabs. Senpai going over to the Tracer, lands the Pulse Bomb on the Shoot or Die. Oh, gets a DMAC too.
Yeah, now it's Senpai and Thor just running around. Senpai going down, but Thor, will he be meaty enough? Does not
no
look
wonder.
Like it, but he buys time.
Pops off.
Diva.
This is looking in favor of Easy Clap. Destructive's really the only one left, and because of the overtime, the spawns are going to be longer for Blabby Stabs, so it's going to be tough to try to hold this one on.
Yeah, no real stall swaps coming out of Blabby Stabs. They're sticking with what they've got. Now a Diva Bomb coming out. Gonna buy more time here, and it's taken forever. But no, it's still Huckleton and Senpai on this card. They are stalling this for so long. Destructive now touches on the Diva. That will buy them another few seconds. As he's gonna say nerf this, and Shooter Die is gonna mess up and get nerfed. And now Freaky on the Roadhog. These stall pictures coming out, and actually Blab.
What is going on? This is
Have a
actually
lot of
happening.
bombs on the card. They have almost their whole team. Now, Stormbase does go down. They actually got a sound barrier off on the offense, though. But Thor with the hammer, he gets 5 on the card. Can they close this one out? Oh my goodness! Boom! So one of the healers, and no wonder, are down for Easy Clap. But no one is dying here. Huckle 2 does get the rest on the Stormbase. They've got both of their healers, and somehow Blabby Stabs have flipped the table. UTech gets D-Max. Heron is off the card. And are you kidding me? Blabby Stabs hold!
Oh,
What the hell was that? 30!
Oh my god, that was the single longest stall I've ever seen in Batty Overwatch League. So many back and forth moments. Ah, wow.
Yeah, I
mean, if you're on Blabby Stabs, like they're in that whole phase. Like there's a couple moments where like, okay, we lost. Like, okay, we all like 3 of us just died. Whatever. I'll run out there. I'll see what I can do. And every time a person comes out of those doors, they hang on for just like 2 seconds longer than they should. Right? Destructive dude on that Diva. I think he played a really big part in that. He did a really good job of stalling it out, especially at the end there with the self-destruct. Yeah, incredible. I mean, Roadhog too used as a stall character. That's not a free fee. That's interesting, but it works off, man. He's a lot of health you have to try to burn through.
Yeah, just 100 little misplays where if any of them had gone different, I think Easy Clap take point 3 there, but instead Blabby Stabs come up clutch. And now we're gonna see what they have on attack here. They're currently hovering a drastically different comp, while Easy Clap hovering more of the same. We have a moment here. I would like to talk about the one pick that's so different for Easy Clap. We know we saw this earlier in the playoffs, but Heron on the Genji. I don't think it's good.
I don't think it's like horrible, but I mean, it's definitely not what Heron's been playing to this season in the level of pressure that he's put out on his other heroes. It's definitely not there, and I think it's really showing.
Don't say other heroes. Say Pharah.
It's
because
okay,
he hasn't put out that pressure on other heroes. We don't know if he can put out that pressure on other heroes. And right now, he's playing scared out of his mind of the hit scan on the other team.
Yeah,
and Easy Clap has never played well when they play scared.
Stop the payload.
But we'll have more time to figure that out as the Bastion composition, Bastion Widowmaker coming out of Blabby's Dab is going to roll on through. Dare the dive from Easy Clap to come take them out. And Easy Clap is letting them come pretty deep here. They don't want to get this early as Senpai buys a gigantic shot on Albino.
What? Oh, bingo. See you later. Trade for trade
one,
there.
But probably worth. But now here we go. The drop coming out of Easy Clap, or at least the drop on a shooter dive, but he's just going to get blasted apart there. A bit disjointed out of Easy Clap, as now most of the chokes have been pushed through by this Bastion. What are they doing?
Bye-bye.
Somebody has to get that done. Albino Joe is trying to rejoin his team, but he's gonna almost, no, he does make it back to his team, but the Bastion is down. Huckleton is down as well. This could be a good fight here for Easy Clap.
Senpai is like he's in the back right now, on this Widowmaker, completely uncontested, and he has the sideline, but I think it's actually Easy Clap who's gonna force him off the point here. Almost just let him slide on through, which seemed pretty comical at first, but it seemed to be all calculated. It was very deliberate, them waiting for them to go all the way under car rush and then dropping down.
He does get the pick onto No Wonder, who was trying to push there, so they are going to stick with this Bastion. He's at 95%. They probably wanted to weigh out at least one configuration tank before changing the comps up. And they're going to go attempt to get the 65, but it is a Tracer coming back to spawn.
Oh, dude, that charge, those sneaky charges. Thor getting the damage down onto UTech, and he actually gets the D-Mech now. That's going to be big here. He gets the nano charged onto him as well. And he's going for the Baby Diva in server room, but here it is, Heron with that Dragon Blade once again. Picks up free on this Bastion. Graviton to follow on through onto Easy Clap, but are they going down? They seem like they are.
Yeah, but Thor looks like he still wants to fight this one out. He's got the hammer. Easy Clap is going to still have to fight this one out. Swordbase gets the killing blow onto the ground, No Wonder, and it's just the tanks right now. UTech going to be taking a nap, but I don't know if they have anyone that can burn through this ulting Winston. This is looking like it's going to go all right for Easy Clap as they reestablish on the card here. UTech chasing on down below. Going to stagger the hell out of Huggleton and finally get the kill there. Another awkward fight, but Easy Clap get the win.
Yeah. Griffey still on Bastion. He does have that tank configuration. So maybe looking to use that here and try to secure up this first point on Gibraltar, then switch off. And now they're just waiting for that full regroup for the offense here. Easy Clap, they seem to have a pretty good idea now what to do and how to take out Blabby Stabs and how they're pushing.
Yeah, they're playing this one super well. There is still some big ults available, specifically that configuration tank on free feed that will probably decide this first point here. If it doesn't go well, Blabby Stabs are going to have their backs to the wall here. As Heron he's just poking around on the side here. You know, he's only at 50%, so he's just playing the neutral Genji right now.
Yep,
As they do find a pick on a No Wonder. No, UTech though, he's chucking a Demon Bomb, and once again, Heron finds the pick on the Freaky. Freaky keeps going down first in these fights. Now Senpai's trying to get... Oh! He gets both of the supports! Senpai comes up clutch. Now the Bastion has been rezzed. He is in the configuration tank, and he is chucking out that sharp-topping damage. Heron wants to find the Dragon Blade, but he is going to eat Bastion to the face. It is just UTech on this Diva stalling things out, and he's going to go down there at the end. Can Easy Clap get members onto this cart? They will not be able to get a whole team in time, but the Mighty Wolf is coming forward. No Wonder is on the cart, but the Mighty Wolf just gets staggered for free there. No Wonder recalls in position, but he is by the time. Easy Clap wants to contest this one out, but No Wonder is down now. Freaky putting out some damage in the back line. He takes out Albino Joe too. Transcendence coming out, but there's only 2 other teammates to keep alive there. They do get the kill on the Huckle 2, but once again, Thor finds a nice hammer, and that turns into a payload cap as there was no one from Easy Clap on the point.
Whew, wowzers. I mean, a nice little rotation through server room there. They have this Ryan Zarya composition, so they just stay close together. You stay behind that Ryan shield, and while that was happening, it was kind of like an audible that they called, and Senpai, he goes all the way top and snipes out the supports at the Deadeye, and that's really what got him this point here.
Yeah, now, for the first time in a while, we see the Bastion on his boat, rowing on forward. So Bastion behind his boat, just letting the boat row on forward, daring the dive to come in, and the dive saying, we'll take that challenge, but he's just out. But second, he once again, he finds it's both of the healers. Another huge play on the McCree. How does he keep finding these?
Sneaky McCree plays. I mean, he really just goes the opposite route of his entire team. It's like, look at my team, now look at me, look back at my team, and now you're dead.
These dabs are playing around split threads so well. Neither of the DPS on the cart, and it comes out big again. And now Graviton Surge gonna hit everyone on this entry. Here comes Bastion from downtown, trying to shoot over, but they did not find any of the kills here. Freaky is still looking for the damage, not getting quite the ult he was hoping for. And now UTech has dropped the D-Bolt in the back of Thor, gonna block it. Now here we go, Heron dropping the ult, but his team has already lost 2. And it's not looking good. Harry goes down before finding anything. The Bastion is down, but I don't think it's going to matter. This is man advantage as Huckletune's Valkyrie just now coming to a close. The Mighty Wolf does have the Transcendence, though, so Easy Clap wants to try to stall this one out. But I don't think it's going to be enough. And no, Easy Clap all fall down. No, yes.
There it is, yeah. And, yeah, the Graviton from Destructive Dude trying to just basically hold them in place while they tried to cap the point, but they didn't really have the follow-up damage right at that very second, but they do outlast them in the stall game, and you kind of wonder, like, maybe some of those ults shouldn't be used by Easy Clap. Like, that Transcendence used right at the very end. It stalls for, what, 10 more seconds, and not going to have it for the crucial fight coming up. And Easy Clap, they're going behind you. They're looking for the flank here. Senpai goes down, so they've actually learned. They're looking for that flank creep.
Once again, the Bastion, but he is stuck in place with this card, but he's still putting down some big damage. Picks up both the things, but a 3-man pulse bomb out, and No Wonder. Goodness fuck. Huckletune gets a res onto Freaky, but this is still gonna be a fight lost by Blabby's dabs.
Oh man, it's like time moved in slow motion. You could see it from a mile away. The nanoed Bastion just completely still, and you knew that he was gonna stick it there. He was, I'm just full shooting mode. No Wonder, very easy clap bomb there.
Yeah, and finally we're gonna see the swap off of Bastion. He's swapping to the Pharah. There is absolutely nothing to contest this pharmacy, barring a miracle from the Mighty Wolf, and No Wonder he sees it, he reads it, he is onto the Widowmaker. Now Thor, once again with a huge hammer. Albino Joe's balled up in the air, but his team has already lost 1. Albino Joe probably gonna look for the res, but here comes High Noon for the first time in a while. Senpai finds no one. Albino Joe does get that res on the Winston. Now Easy Clap pushing forward. The Dragon Blade coming through, finds 2 with 1 slice. Gonna be looking for more. I'm thinking this is gonna be a win for Easy Clap here, and it is. Huckletune needs to get out of there because they need to reset for this last team fight.
Yeah.
30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, well, that incredible read out of No Wonder. That, I mean, you have to maybe think that's just coincidental, but they try the Pharah and they get shut down, and now they're back to a Tracer Widow here. This is it. This is gonna be the last fight for Blabby Stabs here on Gibraltar to see if they can bring it on through and win.
They're gonna have Graviton Surge on Destructive gonna need to be huge compared to the 2 on the other side. Oh, that's not huge. That's not huge. 30. That's exactly what I said he didn't need. The D-Vault gonna whip out a UTech though, and now there are currently no ults available. Freethy, the first casualty of this fight. But it's going to be a 1-for-1. Heron down early again as well. So both these teams are down one of their flanking DPS. But now Blabby Stabs lose Senpai. They have no DPS. They've lost Thor as well. Shooter and I has gone apeshit on this cart. They do get the res onto Thor for Blabby Stabs, but they res Heron as well. The Wonder takes out Destructive, and Man Advantage slowly going in favor of Easy Clap here. They've taken out Huckletune and Destructive. It is just 4, no, make that 2, make that 1 alive for Blabby Stabs, make that none alive for Blabby Stabs, and Easy Clap are going to take Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Up and down roller coaster fights there. Easy clap, striking first here, and play the game going over to
Has
No
to be.
Wonder on his
Has to
racer.
be. Such a sick bomb. Look at this. He knows exactly where he's going. Bastion, you're stuck in place. Fuck you and fuck everyone supporting you.
Yeah, and oh man, and oh man, maybe not gonna get the follow up there, but yeah, it's there it is. There's the follow up, and just textbook tracer play out of No Wonder. 33 objective kills. I mean, there's a reason best tracer in the league. Look at him go.
Yeah, he did what he needed to do there, and that was good because he was really picking up a lot of the slack because I didn't feel like Heron was as effective as he's been for most of the season. But when No Wonder's popping off, that's enough.
Yeah.
Jeez, that was such a wonky watch point Gibraltar. I feel like I could do a 2-hour VOD review about some of a lot of that game. Both of these teams barely make it past point 1, but then manage to kind of somehow roll their way all the way towards the end. It comes down to the wire with that last hold on both sides. Whew.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like more moments where Easy Clap could have stalled out hard. I mean, even at that very first point, right? That the map could have been over for them there. There's just so many moments where they just kept hanging on and through overtimes and able to push it all the way to the last point. You think this would be the opening for Blabby Stabs, but yeah, not able to make it work. Easy Clap having some pretty good reads though as the game goes on, with some hero switches back and forth. I'm interested to see what the next map's going to be.
I think the important thing here is this proves that this is not Week 10 Easy Clap. Week 10 Easy Clap had no business playing in the same match as Blabby's Dabs. And everyone, we couldn't be 100% sure how much that was the UTech effect. Well, now we know. Easy Clap with their real roster can hang with the Dabs.
Oh, yeah. And
that means we've got a series on our hands.
Yeah, because I mean it's tough to lose the first map in a best of 5, right? I mean, not only mentally but just the fatigue of going through it and then having to go into your second map with the L in the map score, or the match score, I should say. You'd imagine Blabby Stabs are going to be really hungry for this next one. They're going to be even more fueled and ready to go.
Yeah, and we don't maybe talk about mental state as much in Overwatch as we could, but I feel like that was probably a really draining map for both of these teams. And Blabby's Dabs are going to need to rebound here. Just there were so many clutch last-second holds and everything coming down to overtime. And it's tough to come out of a map like that with an L. So we're going to see how Blabby's Dabs rebound, because they haven't had to rebound from close losses that often.
I mean, this is yeah, I mean, have they ever? This might be just new territory for the Dapsters. It seems like they win a lot and they don't really know what it's like to feel on the back foot. Before we move into their map pick, though, as you can see, Easy Clap with the map bans Hollywood, Kings Row, Anubis, and Blitzworld. I just gotta say, hats off to Thor74. I know we were talking about him in the award show as improving a lot. I don't think there was anything less than 2-man shatters. I maybe one, but everything was just really beautiful there.
Yeah, he was on point that whole map. It's one of the toughest things about casting Overwatch is you can never give as much attention to everything as you would like. I mean, when you're on point as a caster, you can maybe only pay attention or give attention to 20% of what you want to discuss. Thor was a monster that map. He was trying so hard to win so many clutch team fight winning or saving ultimates when his team was at disadvantage.
Yeah, it's really nuts. I mean, this guy is just leagues above where he started when he basically started playing Overwatch. And the map pick for Blabby Stabs is gonna be Junkertown. We're getting the big R's, we're getting the medium R's, we're getting the small R's. Let's load in to Junkertown.
I am so excited. This is such a fun map.
So we're going to another map where it's like a Widow's playground, right? I mean, Gibraltar is not the most intensive Widow map, but Junkertown first point is like the Widow map. You can pull out the Bastion again too. Maybe we see Free Fee and Blabby Stabs run that pirate ship.
Yeah, I'm definitely expecting the Widowmaker out of Senpai again to start, as he's currently already hovering it. I think the point of this map pick is go anti-Pharah again. And even though Blabby's Dabs did not take the win on the first map, I do think going anti-Pharah, it was good for them. We haven't... Easy Clap just does not look like the same team when they're not running that Pharah.
Yeah, and there was some definite warm-up time for Heron. It did get better as the series went on, but I mean, I think you and me agree it's still just nowhere near, you know, that super clean easy clap dive with that pharmacy. And yeah, and that seems to be the case again, not taking any chances here, especially on Junkertown, not rolling out with that Pharah. It's going to be Heron on the Junkrat. His hometown. We're going to see a lot of junks here on Junkertown, I'd assume. But maybe not one to start off with Blabby's Dabs on their attack.
Yeah, it's a pretty different out of Easy Clap, actually. They've got Orisa Roadhog going to be their tanks here, as we do see Easy Clap. They are coming in deep next to this silo. This is kind of the point where if you want to go for the deep hold, you can do it. And you see teams bust this out sometimes. You want to assault that Bastion before he can even make it out of the cart. So... that looks like a correct read out of Easy Clap here, but Blabby's Dabs are all up on that high ground. They are not coming low. Heron's trying to rain into the spawn door, but no one's coming out that spawn door. And now here we go, the dive coming back out of Thor, but he immediately falls down. But he has given his team a chance to establish this guy. By the way, they are not running the Bastion. They are running... Ooh, Senpai gets the shot out of No Wonder again, as this cart is making it around. Easy Clap gonna have to hold the ground here as Shooter Die goes down. Another good shot out of Senpai. Albino Joe does get the res off, but they've lost UTech in the process. This is going good for the Dabs.
Yeah, I mean, there's sort of tit for tat here, and maybe a little more tat.
Yeah, an early reset call there I was surprised to see, or maybe the Mighty Wolf actually just made a mistake and accidentally fell off the stage. I wasn't watching him, but there's 3-tank composition coming through effectively, and I'm not sure about these swaps. We see the dive DPS coming out for Heron. What is Genji doing to 3-tank?
Maybe farm some fast blades, but I mean, yeah, Genji, he really thrives on taking out squishies in the back line.
Well, and he's gonna do that at least to start. He takes out Huckle Tune, but his team is losing a lot in the process. Although there's kills being traded here, this is looking like a win for Blabby's Dabs, as they are gonna finish off the stagger onto the Genji. Nice and slowly here and jumping off a cliff. But a much faster 0.1 take than we saw of either of these teams on Gibraltar.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, folks, this is the map pick from Blabby's Dabs, so they might have, you know, a lot of practice or maybe some creative strategies as we move forward into this map, and they seem to be pretty comfortable on it.
Yeah, they are in such a good spot in Alt Economy. They haven't been swapping much, as Heron gonna swap over to the Reaper now. So another new pick out of him. You know, we were talking about that earlier. Very buffed on this most recent patch, as it looks like the tanks are coming forward here, 2 of them anyways, and they're pushing Easy Clap pretty far back. They've gotten through most of the choking here on point 2 without a contest. Now, Albino Joe has already popped Valkyrie, but Destructive is zoning him very far out of this fight, forcing him to kind of retreat out the window, but the fight has made its way into the card. Uncle 2 does lose his Zenyatta duel, and now No Wonder finds Senpai as well, so it's looking like this could finally be the fight for Easy Clap. They're taking out Sword as well, and it's gonna take a sec here, but they are gonna win this fight.
Yeah, Easy Clap. They're Blabby's Dabs rather. They're on the ground floor here, and No Wonder. That's his playground, man. He really lights up the kill feed here, and takes out a lot of the members of Blabby's Dabs here. D-Mac from Destructive Dude, and he'll go down as well. And we see Heron now onto this Reaper. So first time tonight, new Reaper. Reddit thinks he's the most broken character in the game. We'll see about that.
Yeah, I'm not expecting it to be quite that bad. The Reddit jerk on this patch was pretty laughable in my opinion, but here we go. No Wonder going deep, finds the bomb on a Huggletune, and this has been such an expertly created stagger from Easy Clap.
Yeah, but you got to wonder, maybe Blabby's Dabs, they're playing into this. There's a couple members that are just pushing way too far out without their team there. And Thor's actually going to pick up the kill into UTech, so this is it. This is a good opening for Blabby's Dabs here. They pop that Coalescence proactively, and they actually take on Albino Joe.
Big pick. The Transcendence about to wear off as well, so there's going to be very little healing coming out of Easy Clap. They've lost Heron to a Fire Strike. Freaky finds a hook on the shooter die. The Mighty Wolf down to the back line as well. And Tracer is going to just trace the hell out of there. Point 2 is going to be taken by Blabby Stabs here.
Nice, yeah, they just, a little bit of sloppiness, a couple staggers there, but they really get their footing back and they get that full reset, and Blabby Stabs, they execute. Destructive Dude on this Diva seems to be everywhere, and he has an ult for himself, and there's many ults on Blabby Stabs, 5 of them to be exact.
Yeah, but going to be 4 of them on Easy Clap as well, so we should have a huge fight coming forward. Heron going to have his first Death Blossom of the night, the big one I want to watch for. Huckletune does have the Transcendence to try to equalize it, if needed. And here we go, Albino Joe coming in, popping the Valkyrie early. They have forced out this Valkyrie, or this Transcendence very early from Huckletune, but Albino Joe did go down to the whole log, and actually a lot of these claps go down. Heron is in the middle of the team. He drops a Death Blossom into a fight his team had already lost, loses his ult and his life, and this card is going to keep pushing forward for the Dabs.
Yeah, unfortunate. They're thinking that he can maybe salvage the fight, or maybe all the members of Easy Club thinking they could turn it around with their ultimate usage, and they see themselves with 0. Maybe a Pulse Bomb or a Transcendence is really what they're looking for here. Mighty Wolf should get it before the end.
Big ults available, both of the tanks, and about to be Moira as well for Flabby Stabs. They gotta be very happy going to this last fight. As Thor is looking for it. They've lost Senpai in the backline, there is no res available, and they've lost Sword of Mace as well, actually. So maybe this fight won't go big, but Albino Joe and a D-Mech on UTech. This could be a trade fight here, as now Destructive tossing in his ult. Doesn't find anybody, but the damage is still coming through both ways. Heron gonna get the D-Mech here on the Destructive, who's gonna be the last man standing, and Baby Diva's gonna sadly run her way out of that fight.
Repositioning.
Oh yeah, this could turn into a late stagger.
This stagger's very real. It's he's just dancing around trying to get some bunny blaster shots, and there it is. There's the execute. And 2:27 on the clock here for Blabby Stabs. Not the worst spot to be, especially on Junkertown. But they gotta wonder how can they break this defense. It's gonna be tough to try to get a hold of the what I've been heard is called the fidget spinner.
Yeah, no wonder. Gonna drop a fidget spinner of his own right on his Senpai's face there on the flank. Nicely played from him. Gonna stall this out even longer, and it really feels like there was such a huge ult advantage going into that last real fight that was thrown away. Super well played on an Easy Clap to now put themselves back into a place where they can trade blows with ults.
Yeah, they've actually got a pretty good hold on this ult economy now. It looks kind of sketchy there on that last push from Blabby Stabs, but they've definitely gotten the control back for themselves. Heron has that Death Blossom once again. Let's see if he goes up high and does the drop. But Thor with the Shatter is able to pick up anything, and there it is. The Death Blossom gonna be soaked up by the Reinhardt shield though.
And the Transcendence as well. Maybe not the right time to drop that, but I'm not sure it mattered as actually kills are gonna come in both ways. Now Nerf this coming down, gonna be blocked by a shield, but Freefy's finding some good damage here. And now Blabby Stabs are starting to get their reassault onto this card, but Albino Joe, he's on the Lucio, gets a sound barrier off, and it's looking like Easy Clap are gonna end up getting control back of this cards.
Yep, Easy Clap. Support ultimates there, I think, really came in clutch. Coalescence used first, and then the sound barrier. And the backside by Albino Joe. Albino Joe on the Lucio. This is a very incredibly different composition out of Easy Clap.
Yeah, but they're getting the stall right now. We're in one fight remaining territory. Senpai has swapped over to the Pharah, so good situation for nothing, literally nothing that can shoot Senpai out of the sky. Actually.
Very good switch here. Very good read, but no wonder he's gonna win that Tracer battle. Yeah,
it's so huge.
I mean, they gotta wait for that Tracer, man. It's 24 seconds left. No wonder he's in the backline. He's going for it. There's the Pulse Bomb onto Thor, but they're looking for the follow-up, and there it is.
Find it
goes down.
Blabby Stabs were not able to reset, and now they are in a disaster situation. They have to just commit to this fight and hope for the best on spawn, but their Diva ult finds nothing. They've got a Farmer Seat up on this high ground that's going to try to touch the cart in overtime. As they're putting out a little damage, they find one kill in the backline. They bought time for their Tracer, but Senpai down, Freaky down. This is looking like the end of the line for Blabby Stabs. Sword Mace trying to get Coalescence, but he's going to be pushed off of that cart. An Easy Clap find the holds.
Yep. A tough bend there for the offense here on Junkertown, but Easy Clap really holding themselves in place and able to hold it on through.
Yeah, payload maps living up to the hype tonight, as we've seen pretty clutch point threes on defense. Now Blaby's Dab's gonna be defending for themselves. We'll see if Easy Clap, this is maybe the opportunity to bust out the Easy Clap composition.
Yeah, I mean this would be a good spot. Well, I mean, I don't know if you even want to gamble wasting the precious seconds coming out of the gate with a fairy here. Most likely Senpai is going to go into the Widow. It just makes the most sense on Junkertown for defense. And they had the Widow battle to start it off last time. No wonder being on the losing side of that, and that's really what catapulted Blabby Stabs to that first point.
Science will reveal the truth.
I guess we'll see. But another note I just want to bring up, a very interesting dynamic. No Wonders Tracer, Senpai's McCree, right? These are the heroes that they're known for. And one of those heroes kind of counters the other, right? McCree with that flashbang really deciding that matchup. But Senpai plays McCree in such a interesting way. He's never really by his backline. He's always up high somewhere, maybe by himself, maybe behind your team with these flank crees. And no wonder this match has really been popping off. He's really just all over the backline, completely uncontested. You have to kind of wonder, maybe Senpai's play style needs to be changed a little bit, or bring in some more Tracer defense.
Yeah, and it's looking like we are going to see some different defense with Freefy on the Junkrat. Sortimace has swapped over to the Lucio, so they're going to have a few more tools to keep that Tracer out of their face, but there will be no Tracer to keep out of any face, as Heron on the Bastion going to be rounding out this 3-tank composition from Easy Clap. They have made it onto the cards.
Yeah, that's it's not like super uncommon, but it usually you don't see it, and there's the chain slap onto Senpai's Tracer, and Easy Clap, good start here.
Yeah, very good start from Easy Clap as Blabby Stabs are very slowly making their way back, but now UTech going for the chase onto Freefy. Freefy low, Freefy down.
Really tough here on Junkertown defense after you lose that first one to try to rally back. There's just not a lot of places where you can sort of retreat and hide and regroup.
Get a res onto Freefy's Junkrat though, and it's looking like a 5-5 going to break back out on this cart as they are kind of forcing Easy Clap back. And now the dive going forward, they do take out the Bastion, and now I think we're going to see a quick on Freefy tossing in the tire, looking for something big, and he's going to find Shooter Die. Albino Joe went down around the same time as well, and Blabby Stabs do manage to get the hold on defense.
Well, Caster Curse, they're able to hold it. Blabby Stabs, that res really very crucially, and I believe it was on Freefy's Junkrat with that tire able to finish off a reset at the end. And now they have the payload control, right? It's under this bridge, and here it is, Heron on this Pharah. Now they see the no Widow, this is the time.
Yeah, Pharmacy going up high, looking to finally get Easy Clap back into their stereotypical momentum. And Albino Joe, he dies the exact second he pops the Valkyrie. This is great for the Dabs, as now they have a Lucio also eats all of this incoming damage, but they still haven't found any picks of their own, actually. Sortimace barely makes out with his life, but Senpai goes down in the Tracer duel. And now another Diva ult coming out. UTech finds two, one with the shots, one with the bomb. And a fight that looked good for the Dabs ends up going great for Easy Clap.
Yeah, I mean, when you take out just popped Valkyrie Mercy, that's just the feels good, man. It feels bad, man, for the Mercy player, but it doesn't mean a lot here because it appears Easy Clap, they have definitive control of this payload as they try to push it on through and capture this first point. Senpai now switching over to that Widow, and he takes out Heron as his last dying shot before going down by UTech.
Yeah, probably worth it. That's going to give them a chance to contest here. And actually, Huckletroop gets the res, and Thor found no wonder at the same time. So now, this is going to be advantage Blabby's Dabs, as this cart has kind of been abandoned, at least momentarily, by Easy Clap. Now, Huckletroop popping the Valkyrie of his own. And I think that's going to be a little overkill here, as they have established back on this cart.
Yeah, unfortunate Q press there from Huckletune, but better safe than sorry,
Well, and yeah, I think that shows the pressure that Easy Clap has been putting onto the minds of Blabby's Dabs. They have to assume that everything is going to be contested to the fullest. They can't always afford, especially, a proactive ultimate like Valkyrie. This isn't a team that can think about saving some of these ults.
Yeah, very, very true. And Albino Joe always is in the back line getting off reses. So a fight that you think you have the advantage in quickly turns into a fair fight, or maybe a fight not in your favor. Interesting defense here from Flabby Stabs. It's going to be tough to hold this one because it's so out in the open. But Senpai, he's on the way back stairs there, and he gets the critical shot onto Albino Joe, and now no wonder gets taken out on the Tracer.
Oh, but UTech does find a kill onto a support, and he finds Sugar finds Creepy as well, but it might not be enough. This is a big advantage for the Dabs. But this fight is being very split up. This could be the chaos that Easy Clap needs, but they lose Heron just as I'm thinking about that. Senpai still under no threat in this backline, as now UTech has finally has a chance to dive forward. He does kill that Widowmaker. A tire though, Creepy. This could win the map for his team, but the Wonder does find Huffletune. Tire trades though is destructive by this D-Bolt. Finally a big D-Bolt coming through for one of these teams, as we've got a 3 versus 3 on this card. Both of these teams are about the same distance from this one, but now Heron going up for that Widowmaker. Can he find it? This fight is a slow stagger, but Blabby's Dabs are turning the table and they secure the hold. Blabby's Dabs take Junkertown and tie up the series 1-1.
Yeah, and this one, not as close as Gibraltar, to say the least. Blabby Stabs with a map pick and the map win, but the play of the game going over to UTech of Easy Clap here on this D.Va. Let's see what he can do. Taking out Creepy. Takes out the baby D.Va as well. And make it a third. Get some criticals on Sword and Mace. 3 kills for himself.
It did the job though.
Yeah, and really night and day. When Senpai went over to that Widow on Junkertown, it was over. Easy Clap, I think they tried their best there. They had the dive tanks, something that you would imagine would be very good against the Widow, but that Huckletune pocket and just the way that they play around Senpai on that Widow, able to secure it nicely.
Nothing else to add. It was I love to finally be seeing these Widow duels. Widow duels are so exciting in Overwatch.
Yeah, and I think Blabby Stabs, if you're a teammate of Senpai, you're feeling confident, right? You don't have to worry about your Widow. It seems like he has that upper hand in this battle, and he's gonna try to break it out whenever possible. I mean, this was their map pick, and Junkertown is a perfect Widow map, so they're kind of playing to that strength.
Yeah, and smart drafting.
So, Blabby Stabs, because they won Junkertown, they'll get 4 map bans for themselves here. And this is the first time we'll see them ban maps the entire season, right? Because this is their first best of series in the playoffs here of Batty League, or Batty Overwatch League Season 4. And they're saying all cough.
Yeah, committing to keeping King of the Hill out of the finals. So, Easy Clap had their choice of everything else. Let's see where they want to take it. I guess there was a pretty nice variety of game types in the game 1, the full map draft. So there's really nothing I would rule out here, but I'm going to take a guess and say we're going to see one of the big hybrid maps, maybe King's Row.
Yeah, I would also... yeah. I mean, maybe this is smart from Blabby Stabs, right? Because they saw in that first opening map draft, they saw Easy Clap banning the 2CP, and so banning all the cough, you'd maybe just assume Easy Clap won't pick the 2CP. So maybe they won't pick one with a point capture either. They'll maybe pick a payload. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would be a little surprised to see 2CP. I mean, I do think it'll be hybrid or payload here, which, I mean, bold prediction, they're going to pick from half of the map pool, or 2/3 of what remains, but that's what I'm thinking. But Easy Clap, they have a lot to consider here, as these have been some very tense games where any little thing could change who's winning the maps. And it's looking like we're going to go over to one of the worst maps in all of Overwatch, Numbani. I hate this map.
Oh, the Numbani hater.
Yeah, I'm a Numbani hater. So everyone's got to have a few maps they hate.
Yeah.
Mine are Numbani, Horizon Lunar Colony.
Yeah. Those are pretty popular candidates, I'd say, for most hated. Especially Horizon. That one really hasn't sat well with most people since its release. Numbani to me has always been a textbook hybrid map, right? This, especially the first point. The first point really should just be like if there was like an Overwatch university where you learned how to attack a point or defend it. Numbani first point would be it. It's super textbook, has high ground, low ground, different sections of the high ground, and then right smack in the middle, a point that everyone can see. And there's a lot of different ways you can attack it, right? There's a lot of different openings for the offense. So you can either run the full dive, you can run something a little bit more static, Ryan Zarya. Hell, I mean, you've seen Bastions too, right? You go upper on Numbani and you just sort of pop out and put the shield up and hope for the best.
Yeah, and as much as I dislike this map, I do agree, very tactically diverse, especially this first point. So hopefully we'll see something exciting. I'm still holding out for Albino Joe's legendary Symmetra. As I want to give a shout out to I'm guessing Heron911, who I believe links twitch.tv/SwainBL every time he wins a game, and that apparently has just pulled us in an extra viewer. So shout out to whoever's doing that. It apparently worked.
It always brightens my day when you see random viewers onto the stream, right? I mean, we're a pretty close-knit community. We don't really explicitly advertise anywhere, but I mean, just word of mouth, it eventually gets out, and people seem to like the stuff we do here.
Yeah, well, it helps. We've got professional amateurs, myself and 30 here, bringing you the finals of the Swain Baddie Overwatch League. But make sure you don't use League in the name, or Blizzard will take us out.
Oh yeah, rip.
I mean, we literally use Overwatch League in the name. I think Blizzard would have people killed for that.
Oh my god, that's so true. I literally just noticed that it is. We just put Baddie in the front.
You know, there was that huge debate about whether we should call it the BOL or the BOWL, and this was before the OWL was announced. Now that the Professional Overwatch League is called the OWL, I wouldn't mind the BOWL, but I really don't want to incur the wrath of Blizzard.
True. Yeah. We'll just stick with what we got here. Make it 3 letters.
But this map about to begin here. Numbani, we've got Blabby's Dabs on the defense. They have Senpai with a lot on his plate here, as he is going to be the only pressure onto Albino Joe and Heron's farmer seat. As Easy Clap finally gonna try to Easy Clap here.
Yeah, dive tanks, Junkrat and Soldier as your DPS, and then Mercy Lucio, which is a little bit unusual, at least the Lucio pick, but Sword and Mace is, showing a very high level of comfort on this pick, and it can certainly work in some situations where you want to stick onto that point and just brawl it out.
Yeah, Blabby Stabs, they're holding this one pretty far back, so they are gonna kind of wait out the engage here from Easy Clap, as now Destructive is going in to challenge forward, but he is getting chunked out, loses that mech real fast. As this is looking decent from Easy Clap, there's no pressure on the Mighty Wolf, getting 3 shots in the back.
Oh!
As Heron and the Mighty Wolf combine to take out Senpai. Now, far up in the sky, gonna be free to rain the damage down.
Yeah, Heron taking out his counterpart there in Senpai Soldier. That Discord really coming through from the Mighty Wolf, though. That's doing a lot of work, and it has so far this series. And Easy Clap, they are assaulting the point here. It might be a stall situation already for Blabby Stabs, and it appears like it is. Senpai switching over to this Widowmaker. He gets the headshot onto Mighty Wolf. Can he bounce back here? But I don't think it's going to be enough. Easy Clap will take first point in Numbani.
Yeah, and look at that. Easy Clap switches over to the Easy Clap comp, immediately captures the points. It looks like a little bit of a late contest, though, is going to come out. Huggle 2, the only one that touched. They get the tire out of free feed, but no one else was touching there, and that was very badly played by Blabby Stabs, because if they had stayed on the point, they might have been able to finish this contest.
Yeah, it did seem like there was like a little bit of hesitation. There might have not been a clear call. Do we give or do we contest? Because I think the front line, the tanks at least could have jumped in there that tire got the double kill too, so could have turned into something real tilt-worthy for Easy Clap, but they'll take first point here, have 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock as we go into Streets phase of Numbani.
In a good spot on ult as kill's gonna be traded. Zenyatta and Heron Bell going up before him. Just say he gets one with the Justice, one before the Justice is the ult, maybe a little late out of Sword Mace there. But Mercies have been traded. This turned into a very split fight, but Blabby's Dabs win most of the one-on-ones here. It's now just No Wonder alive, and he is kind of toying around the back line. Gonna probably be hard to take him out hiding in the lower level of Atria here.
So Senpai, on this Widow, he just does a fantastic job of not getting any value out of Widow. He always gets at least 1 kill before he goes down, and it's remarkable the pressure that's on him, and he's still able to do that. It's a 1 rocket from Heron, and then No Wonder's right behind your back, finishing you off. And Self-Destruct started off.
Yeah, gonna be blocked though by Shooter Dive's bubble, but now No Wonder in the backline. He gets the stick, finds Freaky, Senpai down as well. Advantage from Easy Clap, and they've hardly had to use their ults. Now Albino Joe going high with the Valkyrie. But Huckle2 dies, getting the res onto Freaky. This is looking very good for Easy Clap here.
But the point is stalled out by Sword Mace in the backline, but it'll just be that. No kills to follow through. And yeah, Easy Clap rolling on through here. Should be the 2nd point take of Numbani. And Senpai now over to the McCree.
30, I've seen this before.
The payload has
There was an
reached
8-week stretch where I had to watch this every single week. There was a Pharah, there was a Tracer, there was some dive tanks, there was a Mercy, and Easy Clap would never stop pushing. And that's what we've seen through these first 2 points on Numbani. Now they're back to the Genji on Heron. Can they keep this momentum going? Yeah, Senpai says no. Finds the pick on the Heron.
Rough. I mean, it's you gotta expect it out of this guy at this point of the season. He's always in these tricky spots, just waiting for you. He hears those ninja footsteps, and you're dead.
And there are some fun, tricky spots you can get into on this 3rd point on Numbani, where there really isn't a single stretch I've never seen held. I've seen... This might be one of the most creative defensive points in all of Overwatch, but No Wonder going to try to break that defense on his own, playing very aggressively here. Recalls back to the middle team, gets this thing out of Destructive. It won't secure a kill though, and now No Wonder has died trying. But Huckle2 does ultimately go down to 3P though, gets the pick on the hair, so it's now no DPS or Zenyatta for Easy Clap or Mercy for Easy Clap. UTech is in no man's land. He's going to have to fly out of here. Fortunately for him, no one up there to stagger, but a decisive hold from the Dabs.
Yeah, and No Wonder, I think he was maybe just a remnant of the last fight. He was just sort of toying around, and he I think, opted into the straight 1v4 there. Gets the Pulse Bomb onto Destructive Dude, but maybe needs to be a little more synced up with his team, because when they are striking together, this Easy Clap team, and you just brought it up a second ago, it looks unstoppable.
Yeah, now Heron does have the Dragon Blade available, as always. Going to be watching for that. Sword Mace does not have the ult to answer, so this could be a big opportunity for Easy Clap, as they have established on this cart, playing a pretty standard road assault here, as they're trying to get some damage out. Senpai goes down early, and now Heron in the backline. Eugino KO 1, finds 1, finds 2. This is looking good for Easy Clap. Destructive does manage to trade onto the Genji, but he has done his job in this fight. Now, Bino Joe, though, he goes for way too aggressive of a res. Eats some junk right in his face, as Thor has stalling this one out for so long. This card has not been pushed despite this looking like a team fight one. Now Senpai has made it back. High Noon finds the Mighty Wolf.
Oh man, so many ultimates.
Well, and it's looking like after a fight, I thought Easy Clap had won. The cart only moves maybe 3 meters.
Yeah, and I think you brought it up perfectly there. That aggressive res at Albino Joe there. I think they were up 2 at that point in the fight. Maybe just needed to play it a little bit slower. Don't go for that tricky res. Just wait out that Primal Rage. And it's just sort of a snowball chain reaction from there. The good news is, though, in these situations, Blabby Stabs, they really like to hit the ults, and they used everything to hold this here.
Easy Clap does not wait on the tempo here. They dive straight in. They find Huckle2. They lose Heron on the entry, though. So we've got a 5 versus 5 on this card. But now Sword Mace down as well. No field for the Dabs. No mech for the Dabs. Once again, a good start to this fight for Easy Clap.
Yeah, Senpai, he's on the side here from the McCree. Now he's getting pushed out by UTech. There it is. There's the finish. There's the boop, and we have a Junkrat in the back lines. We have this free feed. Heron going for him, though.
He wanted to probably find his way to an ult there, but he's going to have to drop down to the road a little too early. Huckletune and Sword and Mace down early in this fight, so that's no heals for the Blabby's Dabs. This could be the last fight, but High Noon finds nothing. And now Thor down as well. Easy Clap looking to close this one out. There are not many members of Blabby's Dabs that can contest this part. Huckletune is swapped over to the Genji to stop, but Freefy, he finds 3 with the tire! Huckletune though, he is no longer alive on this Genji. No one is able to touch. And Easy Clap take point 3.
Oh man, that whole time I was specking Freefy in the back. He was like, Heron went for him. Couldn't kill him. He's like, ah, fuck you. I'll just leave you there. We're gonna win this point. He builds up that rip tire and just lets it rip right in the back line. Takes out 3. Sword and Mace follows with the sound barrier, but he actually gets booped off at the very end there. Could have been a turnaround, but Easy Clap finishes off. They get the 3 points, unlike Gibraltar.
And all right, we're gonna need to pause real fast. So fortunately, happening between games here instead of in the middle of a fight. I guess we're gonna take an emergency pee break.
Oh my god.
I'm not even gonna comment on that. We'll just talk about this game a bit.
Yeah.
But you have to think when Freefy detonated that rip tire, Easy Clap, there must have been a 3-second span where they all looked up to the kill feed and got triggered so hard with some Watchpoint Gibraltar PTSD. But fortunately, this one plays out a little differently, and they're able to get the push through. But man, I thought we were about to see another 2-meter miracle out of the Dabs.
Yeah, me too. When Sword and Mace slapped down that sound barrier, I was just like, okay, this is textbook Lucio style, right? You switch it into heal mode, you press C whenever it's up. You already have this incredible amount of shields on you, and he just gets booped off. There was just, everyone else was dead. I mean, it was a great last-ditch effort out of Heron and out of Freefy and Sword and Mace, but not going to be enough. Easy Clap though, on the other end, they're looking more coordinated as this series goes on.
Yeah, it took a little bit longer to warm up than maybe I would have thought. This is a team that most weeks hits the ground running, but they're slowly working in more and more of this diversity that they haven't really practiced much this season, at least not in official BOL games, but the Genji is doing a little bit more as the night goes on. Some of their other picks doing a little bit more. No wonder it has been a monster on Tracer.
Yeah, really incredible stuff out of him. I guess, like always, right? and it seems that Blabby's Dab's game plan is really not concerned about him. I mean, it really wasn't even about Heron, I don't think, right? Because Heron has not opted to bring out Farah pretty much at all. We saw it a little bit first point Junkertown, but they lost that in a pretty incredible fashion. So Heron's not going to bring out a Farah anytime soon. It's really maybe just taking out this front line, playing together as a team, and sort of counter diving the coordinated dive out of Easy Clap.
I almost think Heron needs. I would like to see Heron just take the gamble with the fire. We saw him playing it here on the first 2 points in New Bonnie, and it was working very effectively. But the second he sees the Widowmaker or the McCree come out, he's very content to swap off. Even though we've seen No Wonder on the Tracer maybe neutralize those anti-Pharah threats early on in a lot of these team fights. And we saw when the Pharah is working, Easy Clap rolls through point after point.
It's just completely unfair. It really is like a rocket hits. No Wonder is one clipping you to finish it off. The tanks are already there too. It's really incredible when they run that Easy Clap pharmacy dive. But I guess we'll see what they pull out here on the defense for Nimbani. You could run a Farah here easily as well. Farah, like you said, they brought it out on the offense. It can be run on the defense here, but looks like they're gonna go back to Genji, and instead of a defensive Tracer, which No Wonder has always been fine with, he's gonna swap over to the Soldier.
Yeah, so a strong point for Soldier. A lot of different high grounds you can go for.
It's a classic Soldier map. Yeah, it's really, really good for Soldier here, especially on this bridge high ground where all teams basically set up. Biotic Field gets a lot of value on whichever support you're next to. It's just a matter of can they find him and dive him and push him off this bridge, right? Without this high ground, and if he gets pushed back towards his spawn side, not a lot of sight lines, not a lot of good damage he can get out.
Yeah, so we'll see what he's able to accomplish on the offense. I don't expect to see this Bastion coming through.
Yeah, damn it.
As just looking like a 4-tank coming. No, it's a 3-tank Pharmacy coming. That's a little better. I don't like seeing Mercy with the 4-tank, but we're not going to see the 4-tank. We're going to see 3 tanks and a Pharah. And now there is the answer. There's a Zenyatta Soldier available for Easy Clap to take out this Pharmacy, but they're going to have to play it well.
Very, very interesting, right? In Huckleton, they're opting for this like straight pocket pharmacy, and there's a lot of tanks on this lineup where Moira's really the only thing they got if they're really committed to keeping Senpai
Yeah, but look
up.
at that P-ball putting out so much healing, but no, he needed to put out so much more healing because they lost Thor so fast. Gonna be a trade with Freefy though, is as always, Albino Joe finds the aggressive res on the hair, and so a one-man advantage for Easy Clap as their health bars are looking pretty good. Destructive has been D-Max, but now Albino Joe does go down. However, Shooter Die, Wolf and Heron are finding the picks for Easy Clap, and they're gonna hold this first point.
Yeah, and we might have a sneaky Freefy Roadhog here. They know he's back there. They remember. Hey, wasn't there a Roadhog who went back here? Yeah, I think there was.
Yeah, but he's pulling so much attention away from the point that could clear up the front. And now Roadhog, he's
they're all
crouch
searching.
walking.
They're all going off the point to search for him, and he's not even there. He's look at this guy.
The front road, it's open. It's open. They are going to establish on this point. Blabby's dabs are looking at this point going, where the hell are Easy Clap? Freefy, you thought you got it. Now he finds the got a Heron too. Are you kidding me? Metal Gear Roadhog could have just captured this point. As now the ults are coming out. A 2-for-1 trade early, but now no wonder down as well. This is looking good for the dabs. The Transcendence has just come to an end as Thor zoning him out. Freefy with the whole log will not let the other members of the clap touch this point. Is Shooter Die gonna jump on through? He is a solo Winston ult, buying a lot of time. He has bought time for Genji and Mercy to return to this point, but the health bars looking very good for Blabby's dabs right now. They have bought time to another soldier back as well, but Senpai uncontested up in the air trying to rain it down. Here we go. Heron has the ult, but he dies immediately to a rocket from Senpai.
There it is. That was this. And I mean, Huckleton, he pops the Valkyrie. It's not over yet. It's still being contested. They only got the 1 tick out of this. Mighty Wolf on this Lucio. He's playing that sneaky Lucio
a lot of time,
game.
but it looks like Easy Clap is giving this one up. No, Easy Clap is not giving this one up. Albino Joe touches in the end of his Valkyrie there, or maybe not, but he goes down. But now it is 3 members of Easy Clap once again on this point. Freefy pops his second whole hog of the fight. Forces Heron on the Reaper deep off as they take out Utek on the point. So Mighty Wolf gets hooked on that team, but the Roadhog does not get the kill. But Senpai maybe finally finds the backbreaker, but no, it actually didn't do that much, but it does not matter. Blabby's dabs finally capture this point.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was gonna be a pretty clean cap, right? With the Metal Gear Roadhog to start it off. It was perfect, right? But really good stall game out of Easy Clap. They're really smart about how they do it too. They sort of sacrifice someone to get in there and draw the team, and at the very end that was Albino Joe sort of questionably just flying in there, but they already had 3 people lined up ready to come in afterwards, and they run the clock a little bit, and I mean seconds can matter here in Overwatch, so we'll see how it goes.
We've already got Heron swapped back to that Genji. Senpai over to the Widowmaker, as we're gonna be only 1 fight here from Easy Clap in Street Space as Utek gets hooked early. Gonna not really get chunked. And now here we go. No Wonder has got you in his sights. Takes Huckleton out of the air. Can he find 4? He cannot. Senpai and Destructive coming through with the kills. Albino Joe down early. There are no mercy on either team, but there are not many members of Easy Clap whatsoever. Is Heron going deep trying to find something here? Does not get it, and this is looking like an easy Street Space for Blabby's dabs.
Yeah, and it looks like it's just a 1-fight Streets phase as well, and that happens a lot, not only on Nobani Streets, but a lot of these escort or hybrid maps where the second point is just sort of a long sloping streets or roads area. You can maybe just get down to 1 fight if you
and
play
especially
smart.
with how long Easy Clap held to contest on that very first points, they were going to be super staggered by the time they actually took streets. But Destructive and Freefy are playing the super deep. Destructive laying down the Diva ult in the street. Gonna zone under the bridge here. The cart has been bought enough time, as there are a lot of ults available for the dabs. Both of these Mercies about to have Valkyries available, but the Mighty Wolf goes down early.
Oh!
No wonder down as well. This is looking very good for Flabby's Dabs. They've already found 3. Nothing from the UTech open. Now Freefy once again going full Easter on this cart here. Albino Joe is bounced way away from this fight, as this is looking like it's gonna be potentially a cap here. I don't know if anyone can touch, and no one gets out to touch in time from Easy Clap.
No Wonder was a split second away. He had that blink kind of up in the air, and he was falling right onto the point. Just a second too late there. But yeah, really interesting third point there. Was there a full 66 defense there from Easy Clap? It's just these incredible
like
stagger kills from Blabby's Dabs, and this Roadhog for Fifi is working.
Yeah, I was just about to say earlier, you mentioned how maybe that first point hold wasn't very clean out of Easy Clap, and I was going to say, nothing is ever very clean out of Easy Clap. That is their strength, is that they can play when it's not clean, but on point 3 Numbani, it comes back to bite them, as they don't really get any kind of standard defense, and they end up giving up point 3 with a lot of time remaining, so a big advantage for Blabby's Dabs. 3:16 to a minute is going to be the time difference here, heading into round 3.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Yeah, it means a lot on these hybrid maps to have a much bigger stopwatch or time pool going into it, because I mean, a minute on the clock on Numbani first point, you're getting 2 fights. That's maybe, you know, these fights, they can't be super extended, right? If you go in and you lose a couple, you have to hard reset right away. You have to make that decision and see if you can get at least a tick out of it.
3.
Yeah, so they are going to opt into their full dive here with the Genji Tracer DPS. Meanwhile, we've got Junkrat Soldier coming back out of Blabby's Dabs here, holding in the same position as before. Although Freefy is watching over in no man's land here, and he is going to see this entry, so it's a Junkrat to be pushed through. Destructive now coming up to join him.
Yeah, Easy Clap's doing the reach around, going along the long bend here on Numbani.
Oh.
And Freefy draws first blood onto Heron's Genji.
Yeah, very calm from Blabby's Dabs here. They are now falling back. They know they can take this fight slow. The clock is the enemy. As Albino gets the res, but they lose. No wonder this is going to be a tough fight. And now there's only 20 seconds remaining. There is no dive DPS remaining. This is a disaster for Easy Clap. Can they find a miracle? Albino Joe. Oh, no. I've seen that on Pornhub before. Albino Joe gets surrounded by 4 angry men, and he gets murdered. The Mighty Wolf down as well. And this is looking like it's gonna be a team fight 1 on this first point. No one able to touch for Easy Clap, and now Blabby's Dabs have 3 minutes and 16 seconds. They only need a tick to take Numbani.
Wait, did you say Pornhub or did you mean Live Leak? Because, like you said, there was a murder. Albino Joe got murdered. Heron got murdered twice within like 10 seconds. For Freefree's Junkrat. I mean, Freefree in general, stepping up huge here in the Batty Overwatch League Finals.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to talk much about it, but these guys were both on my MVP ballot, Freefy and No Wonder, and they have been just trading blows back and forth all series long, but Freefy gets the defining ones there. Like we were talking about, Easy Clap needed to enter fast, and Freefy finds the stagger that really took the wind out of Easy Clap's sails. They were not able to find that fast fight. They only got 1 fight on this point, and it ends up coming up huge for Blabby's Dabs.
Yeah, playbook's wide open here for the Dabsters, and oh boy, is it time? No, I don't think it's time yet. Oh, pause.
And
pause
we need
going.
another pause.
Boom. But yeah, 3 minutes and 16 seconds, like you said. There's a lot of room available for you to come out with an idea with a composition. If it doesn't work, or if you basically you read what they have, right? If you roll out with comp A, but their comp counters your comp A, you have time. Go back to the drawing board, bring out something new. It just takes 1 fight, right? You have to just basically kill 2 or 3 defensive guys on that high ground, and it's the tick, it's the win, and it's the lead here in the series.
Yeah, and it's obviously in much more tense fights than a point normally is, because there's a lot of times where if you have a fight that's getting kind of split up off the point on defense, you can give up a tick or 2 and not be concerned because you have the retake already set. But when it's a 1 tick loss scenario like it currently is for Easy Clap, everyone has to play closer to the point than they normally would, because you can't risk the mistake of someone just kind of getting the tick because no one was near the point.
Yep. Yeah, and it sometimes pressures those people into making, questionable decisions, right? You are in this high intense moment, and you're like, oh, someone has to step on it, but you stepping on it actually kind of breaks the whole flow, breaks maybe a defensive position that you had because someone just had to step on it. Looks like we get Free Feet back in the game here. Just a short disconnect, so we should get the unpause shortly, and we'll see what Blabby Stabs can do on the offense here. I would love to see it. That'd be the balls out of Blabby Stabs if they actually bring Sword and Mace on this Doomfist. I actually think it's smart. I'll defend this if they brought out like a one healer Mercy comp with Doomfist and cheese them. I think that's brilliant.
I think you're getting your hopes up for nothing. I think Sword of Mace is just hovering his boy Doomfist. The blackest character in the game, going to the blackest member of the BOL, who, Sword of Mace, he's really de-blacked himself a bit this season. He's been playing, a lot of Moira recently. That's about as white as it gets. And,
That's true.
I was never honestly quite sure if Sword of Mace would break his I only play black characters rule.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess he likes to win as well. So
yeah, Sword of Mace definitely a competitor and a team player, maybe more so.
Yeah.
As he's kind of always been across all the games we've played. So I think he's going to go back over to one of his healers, probably the Lucio. I really like the Lucio here on this first point because it's just such a long run.
Yep, makes complete sense.
Free Feeds, unfortunately, having continued issues.
But let's talk a little bit about Easy Clap. The defensive configuration they've chosen is plenty different than what they usually run here.
Yeah, are prepared to attack. That means they're out on the point right now, right?
They should be.
I'm not. I am looking towards the offense spawn.
Me too.
I think so. So I think that means they're stuck with this. This is weird.
Yeah, it is, and it's a very big gamble not to run the hit scan. Anything that can reach a Pharah in the sky. Pharah's a good attack on Numbani here.
I also think it's a huge gamble not to run the Mercy, where when you're in a 1-tick situation, that res is maybe the most valuable it will ever be.
True. Counterpoint, though, she is a very vulnerable support, and Moira and Lucio are the most self-sustaining and defensive supports. They have a lot of tricks in their bags to stay alive in clutch moments, but I agree. Like
I do like the Lucio.
Resing it is really big.
The Lucio's good also because if this turns into an extended fight on the points, you want to maybe be able to shuttle yourself and a teammate back. But I would have preferred to see like a Lucio Mercy.
Yeah, mirrored supports here. I would have imagined the Mercy Lucio to come up for both sides.
But it won't be. And also, no wonder playing tank, not playing DPS. He has been huge tonight. We've seen some very good Roadhog play this season, so I'm not going to rule it out. But that's one of your MVP caliber players not playing his bread and butter in a down-to-the-wire scenario. And there's just a point where when it's this down-to-the-wire where, you're in a 1-tick round 4, I think sometimes you have to just go with what you know. Don't be inventive in that situation. But Easy Clap, not agreeing with me. They're going to be running brand new excitement for us here, and we're going to see if it can work.
Wait, so this... Yeah, the composition out of Easy Clap, this is a counter to quad tank. Now, they must be expecting that. They must be expecting Blabby Stabs to at least run tank heavy.
Oh, wait a second. No wonder he was just back in spawn, so he's swapped over to Soldier, so it's going to be... You don't make it there, but...
Not enough time to get high ground? Oh, they're holding low ground.
Tell me how you feel. Quick.
I like this, though. This is interesting. Maybe catch them off guard. This Orisa shield's in a good spot, but I'm worried about what's happening right now.
Yeah, here he is. Senpai gets run above them, but he doesn't find anything yet. But
they're directly below them. That is, I don't think, a good spot to be in, but they have that room to stay hidden in.
Yeah, and Freefy is tickling butts on the back line. Now this has turned into a very flank fight. Whoever wins this fight is going to be very dramatic, destructive, and Sword taking damage fast. This is looking good for Easy Clap here. They found 2 picks in a mech early on. Only needed their Moira's life to get it. as they're now trying to get these stagger kill here. Hunkle2 goes down to UTech, and Senpai gonna get staggered very deep here. These are just reset, and there we go. Finally goes down, but Freefy is still making sure. Oh, he's gonna try to initiate Operation Metal Gear again, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought he was gonna stick to it, but he actually exposed himself, tried to get a cheeky one clip onto No Wonder there. But yeah, he's fully in the back, right? There's nothing to really contest him, right? There's no tracer for No Wonder. He can't try to chase him here. They just have to watch out flanks, and they find it. Mighty Wolf in the 1v1 against Freefy and push them out.
Justice raised above the Orisa shield, goes down, but a second Orisa shield on Shooter is going to block enough of that. Albino Joe with Lucio ult as well, and now Senpai is down. This is a lot blown from Blabby's damage that doesn't look like it's going to turn into much. No Wonder trying to get someone in his sights. He finds some damage, but does not find kills until the very end. But once again, this is looking like a one-fight Baron with the Death Blossom to round things out, as maybe an overkill Diva Bomb coming out of UTech, but regardless, this point is gonna be held for another fight. Is Winston trying to run out, but Thor gonna be the last sager of the fight. And this has been a very good start from Easy Clap.
Yeah, I mean, it's a switch up, not only compositionally, but like tactically as well, right? I've never seen a team just sort of give up the high ground like this. They're like, we need to all stick on the ground, we need to stick on the point and stick together, and it seems to be working. However, they used everything there. They used 5 ultimates. Shooter Die is gonna have the bongo coming up, but look at the ults out of Labby Stabs.
And here we go, the Sword and Mace ultimate on the Moira, gonna break through that Orisa shield. Now Thor charging in destructive, drops the Diva Bomb. He finds 2. Both of the healers down for Easy Clap, as well as Shooter Die. Senpai gonna go down, but 4 members of Easy Clap are down. UTech and No Wonder have to stay on this point for as long as they can. 2 versus 5. No Wonder has the tactical visor, but it's being eaten. And Easy Clap finally all gonna meet their deaths in the tick captured. Blabby Stabs take the series lead 2-1.
Whew, yeah, and it all goes back to getting that time pool. That extra time paid off, and Senpai, first time tonight we see him in the play of the game here, and it's gonna be on Farah right at the very end here. And just getting a ton of value out of the splash damage for these rockets. There it is, there's one support. No Wonder he's right next to him. But I would have finished him off. You know, just a lot of damage. Not eliminations, just damage.
But it was enough. Set up everyone on your team to get the kills, and he was able to do it.
Oh, look at the damage. 28% of the damage.
That's a good amount of damage.
That is.
I don't do that much damage.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. That's
All right, so we will. It looks like Blabby Stab's wasting no time here. They have already banned King of the Hill, so Easy Clap have moments to talk things over as they are now facing elimination point. Season could end here on this next map. They're gonna want to pick carefully.
Yeah, and Huckletune says it in chat. There it is. All the costs are gone off the table, which is kind of sad. I do love some good cost. I think it's my favorite game mode, even though Hybrid's a close second. Not gonna see any crazy back and forth brawls. No clutch 1v2s or 2v1s, and we will see what Easy Clap has up their sleeve here. It's all down to the wire. This could be their season here, and neither of these teams really want to lose here, right? Both of these teams incredibly neck and neck as it went throughout the course of the season, but Blabby Stab's just getting this slight upper hand, but none of these 12 players would say the other team's better, right? These are very proud people, and any loss for any of them would be a big disappointment. I don't know. Twitch chat, what do you guys think? Who do you think takes it here? Can I get maybe I should get a straw poll going. That's what streamers do. We'll see what happens here. Here we go. We'll let the people decide. Who are you? Oh, Captain, it's me. I'm 30. Hello. That's my other name. Is this Bliss? But we're getting some big R's, even though they're not big. They're tiny R's. It's just an adjective in front, but it will be Dorado. Yeah, I had my game minimized there. So easy clap, choosing Dorado, a pure escort map here of map 4 of the series in the grand finals. A lot of interesting things can come out here. It's another Bastion playground, especially on this first point here. Pirate ship incredibly effective to try to push through under that infamous Dorado bridge. However, it's also the Junkrat playground, right? And we've seen plenty of Junkrat tonight, especially out of Freefy, who is just completely tearing it up on pretty much any hero he selects.
Traveling to Dorado.
Yeah, super excited to see how this plays out. This is definitely a map worthy of elimination points, in my opinion. There's so many different places on this map and so many different compositions you can see busted out here that can just create exciting holds or exciting pushes. We've had a lot of, I think, very iconic matches on Dorado this season as well. And I think this is a great map to live up to the hype this series has had, as this has been an excellent finals. Every single map has had super exciting moments.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, the season, you know, like, I guess the format's done its job, right? It has really filtered down to the best 2 teams, and it, like you said, it's real back and forth. A lot of fun to watch, and it's not over yet. I would love to see a map 5, but I mean, and this is also a very good easy clap map, to say the least, right? Something I will always remember, and no team has ever done this, right? Because it's sort of maybe an advanced tactic that teams can't pull off.
30.
What?
30.
What? What?
Oh,
What? What were they doing?
I got baited. They had Symmetra. They ran out of spawn for 35 seconds and then they switched back. Fuck you, Senpai.
Dude, if they pulled out attack Symmetra and at least capped the first point, I mean, just give it up.
It would have been defense Symmetra.
That's good too.
I mean, it's a better time to play it.
Yeah, but here it is. I mean, Easy Clap are on the offense here, so I guess I'll talk about their defensive strategy when we see them on that side, and it's just gonna be the standard Easy Clap dive.
Yeah, Easy Clap season down to the wire there, going back to what they know works, regardless of what the enemy is playing. And the enemy is playing the Zen and the Widow. So Heron not wasting any time. Right back to that, Genji. We're seeing a odd low ground play here out of the dabs as Easy Clap are taking this very slow on the entry. Heron goes down early to the Junkrat, and I'm thinking we're going to see the under the bridge hold here. Heron will be back pretty quick as he's just now spawning. And yeah, we see this under the bridge hold that we've seen a lot of teams come to favor as the season's gone on. UTech on the D.Va establishing up high.
This is gonna be tough, right? Senpai on that Widow. That high ground for Widow is so hard to get through on Dorado first point, but I mean, if there was a team to do it, it would be Easy Clap, right? They have the most well executed dive in the league. So it's just a matter of whether can they get in range. Can they actually commit onto Senpai here? And Heron, he's doing a solo adventure in the back. He's scaling that wall, that infamous flank wall there, but Freefy and Senpai were on the clock.
Now here we go, the flank coming out here from Easy Clap. They have established back on this cart. Thor gonna get gang banged on that cart. Goes down. But now Freaky, he wants to equalize things. The Riptire coming through. Trades for the Genji. 1-for-1 early, but now UTech losing his mech as well. Albino Joe down. No wonder finds nothing with the pulse bomb, and it's looking like Blabby's dabs should be able to get this stop. Shooter Die and UTech are just kind of being staggered here on the cart. They do find Freefy, but I don't think that's going to be enough to matter. No, UTech the stagger, Freefy the res, cart the stop.
And Senpai the infrasight. And there it is, it's popped, and now everything just got way tougher for Easy Clap. See this clever little flank that maybe no wonder has? Nope. They see that coming from a mile away. Gotta have to be a little bit more direct here with that up in the battlefield, or they just actually make the commit and they just wait it out. They don't like hard commit to any fight and they just sort of slowly go back and forth here. and try to
No
get no
wonder.
value out of it.
Back to his bread and butter. Oh! 75 finds the shot. And Aaron down as well. This is going to be a nice stall. And this is actually how long of a stall this was. This is actually, I think, very huge for Blabby's Dabs. This cart is going to push back under this bridge, which I think is a pretty tough point to push through, especially into a Junkrat, especially with that Widow so deep off in no man's land. Now they've lost one of their flankers. The Wonder feels he has to go Widowmaker to answer here. There are a lot of ults available on both sides, but not a lot of time.
Yeah, this Dorado first point here, when you can't get through this bridge, this is where like friendships end. This is where teams tilt for entire seasons, right? This is such a frustrating point to try to break through if the enemy team has the strong defense. But here it is, the dive starts trade for trade to start it off, and the bomb in the back, not gonna be able to pick up anything. But Blabby Dabs, they might have the advantage here. Albino Joe reses it to keep it even. Primal Rage is pop from Shooter Die, trying to create space, trying to get people off that point, and here it is, Aaron with the Dragon Blade. What can he pick up here? He's looking for the Zen in the back, but Destructive Dude able to pick up two. There's the tire over the top, and Blabby Dabs looking like they're gonna hold it once again.
What a chaotic fight. No wonder won the Widow duel to start, and I thought that was going to be the opportunity for Easy Clap, but it was not enough. And now it's 10 seconds remaining, season on the line, but that is a huge DMAC on Destructive. This could be a chance here. Easy Clap, though, cannot step off of this cart. As here we go, the hammer coming down, only hits UTech, and there we go, Mighty Wolf gonna pop Transcendence, keeps that mech alive. But can they protect their backline? UTech now finally loses his mech. Heron is zoning people back, but he's gonna need to start finding kills here. Senpai's found a Mighty Wolf. UTech is without a mech. Blabby Dabs are starting to swarm back onto this cart. They're finding the kills, and now here comes the Rip Tire. This could end Dorado. Tire looking for anything, but everyone ends up stepping off. Round one complete, and a great defense out of Blabby Dabs.
And this is it. We're gonna swap sides, and this is a win or loss, right? I see the threads on Reddit saying like, oh, but Payload can technically end in a tie. I guess there's footage of it. Technically, you can end a tie at the same spot, but it's not gonna happen tonight. One of these teams is gonna win or lose right here, right now, on Dorado.
Yeah, and this is so nerve-wracking for Easy Clap because they cannot give up much ground at all, and they might have to consider cheesing here.
Oh yeah, good point, Zed from the realm beyond. It can technically tie at the gates if they contest the card right at the very beginning, but obviously we won't see that now. But a good fun fact for all the viewers out there, and oh boy, I mean, what do you think the mental fortitude Easy Clap needs right now?
You know, we've kind of said all season we were never sure how Easy Clap would adapt if their normal go-to is being shut down, or if they're in a rough situation. You know, when they start losing games, sometimes it's really rough on them, or at least it looks like it is. And this is really the defining moments of their season. I mean, can you hold? Do you have the balls to hold 4 minutes for maybe 50 meters?
Hello.
Gonna be tough. Easy Clap taking a couple deep breaths to start this one off. Has to keep it cool.
And they have swapped things up a bit. They're going to be Heron and No Wonder, Junkrat and Soldier. UTech over to Roadhog with Shooter Die on the Orisa. Meanwhile, Blabby Dabs, he's going to switch. Yeah, he's going to switch. So it's going to be Junkrat Farah. We're going to see a lot of projectile junk coming into this match, as this is going to be very difficult for Shooter Die to keep these barriers established. I like this comp in this situation out of Blabby Dabs. No Wonder finds the first pick, though. That's what they needed. That's how they needed to start.
Yep, it's a little morale boost, right? This isn't over yet. You can still get the better of your opponents here, and Sword Mace takes the Helix Rocket to the body. And this is the extreme pharmacy flank out of Huckletune and Senpai. Do they even fucking know? Do they know?
Auto Choke's down. Oh, but Senpai, no! He couldn't afford that right now. Senpai with the choke of a lifetime. No, I'm just kidding. It's not gonna matter.
Oh no!
The payload is approaching its destination. There are no members of the Easy Clap around, and that's it. season, but they picked it up for the end. They didn't lose it for the playoffs. And Blabby's Dabs are the Baddie Overwatch League champions. And play of the game,
No other.
deserving, goes over to Free P. This man was all over my awards ballot, even though he didn't take them all. But these tires coming up big here. This last fight, he finds one, gonna drop on down, say, healers, no, get out. 41% of the team's damage on the defining map.
Wowzers.
What a monster.
I mean, yeah, you saw it. I mean, the rewards ballots didn't spell it out, but in the playoffs, in the one match that they had in the playoffs, Blabby's Dab's free fee really brings it. And
props to Blabby's Dabs. This was a team that's, I mean, from the draft onward, everyone was saying this was maybe everyone's pick as the early season favorites. And that's a lot of pressure. Very rarely in any of our baddie leagues do we see the preseason favorite live up to expectations, but Blabby's Dabs hit week 1 on the ground running, and they essentially never stopped.
yeah, I mean, they got better as a team, and they got better individually as players. It's incredible to see the growth of all of those guys. It really bringing a higher caliber of Overwatch that no one in the league could match up.
Absolutely. They deserve to feel good about this one. They now go down in baddie league infamy as the champions of our most competitive season yet. And so I think that's going to do it, folks. Baddie Overwatch League Season 4 comes to a close after what was a very, very excellent finals. I just want to take a moment to thank everyone that's been tuning in. We've had some great viewership all season. Thank everyone that's helped us with the production, as we've had really an awesome group of people. Myself, 30, UTech, Albino Joe, Cal, TK Thrifty, some big streamers, Zed, Tree, 30, a little bit of UTech helping us out behind the scenes. More or less been a very smooth season, and a lot of people have been putting in effort to make that happen. And I want to also thank members of 5 of our 6 teams, because the Baddie League cannot exist without losers, and we need more losers than winners for this league to work. And fortunately, a lot of us put in some team effort to lose some games this season. So thank all of you. We'll see you in a few months.
Bye-bye.